What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
Oh, you thought you were DJ? Wow, how interesting of you. But actually, this whole time, I'm Diggins.
Oh, shit!
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Let's go. We're finally here, baby.
Yeah, we made it
for you.
To the movies. Guys, we're at the movies. Isn't that exciting?
Yes, it was fun to be back at the movies.
Did it fail you like it failed me?
No.
You know what? Only a little bit of like murmuring and stuff, but overall pretty good experience.
We'll get to. Well, we could start with that because that's not talking about the movie.
Yeah.
But we are going to talk about F9, the Fast Saga.
Yes.
So we started watching the movie.
Okay.
I'm in the back, right by myself. Awesome, like kind of area of nobody too near me.
Right.
Movie starts. Lights go down a little bit, but lights kind of stay on. And I'm like, that's weird. Give the movie a little bit more time. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's like some bullshit where they really go off when the movie like really starts and they do the titles. And then they never go off. So 20 minutes goes by.
Oh, man.
And I get up and I'm like, hey, ticket guy. And I'm like, are they going to turn the lights off? And he goes, what? And he runs into the theater with me, looks out, goes, oh, man. And then runs out. And I'm like, all right, cool. They never go off.
Oh!
Lights on the whole time.
Wow.
Movie theater's terrible. It's terrible. Movie theaters are bad. I can turn the lights off in my house like this whenever I want. I can just walk up, turn them all off.
That's
crazy,
dude. Damn.
In this entire year and a half of pandemic, you not once ever brought the witch's descendant up to the highest hill in the town to give and fed him some water? I mean, come on, Nando.
I did that, but maybe there's like a new thing. I don't know. Maybe there's like some other curse that I did on the way over. I killed a, magic fly or something. Did you defile a
grave or something? Like, what the hell?
I don't know.
That's extreme.
Movie theaters, man. They had a whole year and a half to figure out how to turn the lights off, and they couldn't do it. So, way to go.
Now, to be fair, not to like victim blame too much, but you could have gone at some point again and be like, guy, come on, what's going on?
Well, it's not my job to get the lights turned off. If they're not going to do it the first time, why are they going to do it the second time? He seemed like he really went to it. He seemed like he had to like get up and go to his boss and be like, we got to turn these lights off. And the only explanation I could think of is his boss is like, nah, fuck him. And so that's what I get.
There's no way.
Actually, your boss, the guy's boss, like looked through the files and was like, "Oh, we got one of those witches curse guys in there."
Yeah, apparently.
We can't do it. I'm sorry.
So first and last time back, baby. The movies.
Wow,
I'm back at the movies.
Do you have any like option to go to a different movie theater by?
I could. I'm sure I could go to. Yeah, there's like that was the closest one to me, and it's usually fine. Like it's not a great theater, but they usually don't do that. There's other ones that are within a relatively short drive that are okay. So I'm sure I could go to one of those next time. But what's the point? Why waste or why gamble it if I could sit at home and watch the movie at home, and all the stuff is within my control? Yeah, exactly.
That
That's the problem.
going away soon.
That is a problem. But what about you guys, Diggins, DJ? What was your experience like?
I had a pretty good one. Everyone opened their snacks early, which I noticed it was like the universal thing, and then like everyone opened their snacks. I'm like, that's weird. I was also only in a theater with like 5 other groups of people. Little bit of talky talk behind me, but nothing too distracting. It was mostly during the loud scenes. And no phones, so I had like a pretty good movie experience. And honestly, I was probably the most like rowdy person. Like I was clapping, I was cheering. I was like doing all like the obnoxious stuff. So like, yeah, I was probably like the worst offender, but I was like legit amped. I wasn't trying to like put on a show. I was so stoked on this movie.
I think I was in the same boat as you were, where I was just like the annoying person in my theater because I was laughing at everything. Because it was all funny, unintentionally funny, when everybody fucking sacrificed themselves. At a certain point, if a certain character had a very dramatic death and it was unbelievably funny, I think I ruined that for some people, but that's not my fault. That's the movie's fault for not being any good. Diggins, what about you? What's your theater experience like?
the rest of the 99% of people who have never pissed off a witch, it was totally fine, like all of my movie theater experiences are.
That's not bad. What was the vibe in your theater?
Mostly empty. It was the
nice.
vibe. I mean, there were a few other...
theater...
This is the most crowded a pandemic theater has been for me, which I've only been going to them for the past, 3 weeks, but still.
I will say my theater audience was fine. There were some kids that were, loud, but whatever. It's this movie. But if it was a different movie that I cared about, or if it was a movie like The Quiet Place or something, I feel like maybe it would have bugged me. But this, whatever. Good luck, kids. Have fun. Try to keep track of whatever's going on screen. But
oh boy, that's good.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot to ask of those kids.
I don't blame kids at this movie. Try to figure out who those three guys are, kids. What, you didn't go see one of these 15 years ago? No, kids. Those poor kids. This week we're talking about F9.
Yes.
So I believe the title I'm reading right now is F9: The Fast Saga.
Yeah, I believe
it's one of those movies that has a variable title where sometimes it's just F9, sometimes it's F9: The Fast Saga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's weird.
Yeah,
also,
weird.
You guys, we're going to have to do the IMDb game. I'm going to tell you what.
Yeah,
you guys excited for this?
I'm so excited.
I have no idea where to even start.
Here, I'll give you an even worse idea. So let's say it's on the shorter side, sentence and a half maybe, but it lies to you. So go crazy.
Right.
We'll start with Diggins, I guess. You get to choose who goes first or second?
Yes,
all right,
that's correct.
I'm as the returning loser.
That's right.
I'm going to go first. And since you say it lies to you, I'm going to go with the movie that the trailer presented it as.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because that makes the most sense to me as the IMDb lie. Cypher, the super hacker who once blackmailed Dom, has teamed up with a threatening figure from his past to try to take over the world. His estranged brother, Jacob.
Okay. DJ, what about you?
Son of a bitch. Okay. Dom must face... okay, hold on. Sorry. Dom must confront his past to stop his brother and a terrorist organization from acquiring a device that could mean the end of the world.
It's Diggins.
Fuck.
Got it, baby.
Yeah.
Here we go. You ready for this? This is what the actual official IMDb summary for this movie is. A movie that anyone can see in theaters right now. Cypher enlists the help of Jacob, Dom's younger brother, to take revenge on Dom and his team. Not even close, movie.
Fuck.
Not even close.
Not even remotely true.
Neither parts. It's not about revenge, and Jacob isn't working for Cypher.
All right, I don't mean.
Where did they get this from?
I don't mean to upset the apple cart here, but I feel like Diggins was given an unfair advantage because Nando had tipped off on the title.
You heard that too, right?
Nothing stopped you from bringing up Cypher because you knew that the trailer lied, or that the IMDb summary lied.
I don't know. I feel like I was settled, and I don't know. I recount. Am I crazy? Recount.
You were settled. It would be a different story if Diggins went, or you went, and then I said, "Oh, by the way, guys, the trailer's full of lies." But you had all of the. You even had more time to reevaluate.
I don't know how I feel about this, but whatever.
I mean, it's open and shut case. Besides the fact that Diggins, he got most of the names and all that stuff. He had Cypher being the beginning part of his. It was a very open and shut case, and yours wasn't even close anyway. With the super weapon wasn't in there, taking over the world. This movie it's like F9, or excuse me, it's like F7 kind of plot where it's like revenge of the team, gonna give revenge on the team with the bad guy, and it's just like they copied and pasted it, but they didn't see this movie or check to see if any of it was true.
You know what? It's cool. Diggins deserves the pity points. So
yeah,
you know what? Totally cool. Totally cool.
DJ's out of his mind. You won fair and square and handily.
No,
it was a hand.
I'm not bothered by the death spasms of a sore loser. So.
Oh my goodness.
That's what this is starting to look like. I mean, listen, we'll talk about the movie because the movie is. Speaking of death spasms, DJ, you go second. Diggins, or I guess Diggins, you want to go first or second or third? It's all up to you.
You're in the driver's seat.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
You're in the
first.
cockpit, a real cockpit, a real one, guys. So if you explode, you die for sure.
Oh, I thought you were referencing a different thing, like that totally real cockpit that two of the main characters.
Oh no, yeah, I'm talking about a different, totally real cockpit, but equally stupid. But yeah, what'd you think of Fast 9 or F9 : the Fast Saga?
I've been workshopping this opening line for my thoughts, and I think I've settled on it. It probably might be a thing I've said before, but I really mean it now. Which is that F9 is probably not like the worst movie in this franchise, but I think it's my least favorite.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes
Interesting.
And that is for a reason that may not translate to a lot of you fair listeners out there. We've never taken a poll. I imagine most of our listeners like this franchise.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people that listen to us and like us. I think the internet vibe on these movies changes a lot. So I think some people really, really, really like them and get really excited for them. And I think there's a lot of other people who are pretty quiet about it or just like, these are stupid, I don't watch them. And so I don't know where listeners are, because there may be some that are like psyched for it. I think there could be a lot of others that are just like, oh, Fast and Furious movies, God damn it. Why do they keep making these? So,
listeners, when this goes up on the internet, reply to our Twitter thread or on Reddit or something and tell us what you think about Fast and Furious.
Yeah, send us a GIF of your face when you hear, so like not your actual face, but like a GIF that represents you when you hear that they're making a Fast and Furious sequel. What do you look like? Do you look sad? Do you look happy? Do you look, confused? And that's what we'll use.
So, if I may, guys, friend of the pod, Roger, he actually gave us his Fast 9 takeaway, and I don't want to say he's representative of all of our listeners, but, just to get his take in here, I'll read you what he wrote on Twitter.
Until another person gives us another thing to say, this is completely representative of the listener said, and, it's up to them to take the spotlight.
So this is from Roger at Roger Rozansky on Twitter. F9 takeaway. Script had a bunch of MacGuffin will solve this in draft 1. Writers didn't want to figure it out and decided to just use the same thing for all those placeholders. Finally throwing the writer a bone who'd been pitching Magnan since F5.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That sounds right.
Anyway, I bring all this up because a large part of the reason this is my least favorite is because more than any other Fast and Furious movie, and I've now seen them all, so I can say this definitively, if you don't like the previous ones, this one has nothing for you. It is a remember the other ones extravaganza. Every time it's like, remember this movie? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't like it. It's like, didn't you love it? I'm like, no, I just said I didn't. And that's all it has for me. There's nothing else. There's nothing I can do with it. Also, this is the movie that cements in my mind that Dom is the real villain of this franchise.
It's definitely a case to be made.
Dom sucks so bad in this movie. He is
at
such
being
a
person
dick.
or at acting? Oh, okay, yeah,
both.
Yeah.
He both.
I think that is very fair. What about you, DJ? What did you think of F9: The Fast Saga?
I guess I'm here to give the other side, and actually, it probably it reinforces Diggins' take. But this movie was probably made for me. Universal is making these movies for DJ Chapman at this point, and those who are like-minded with me. I loved it. It certainly wasn't my favorite. I did like it more than 8. But yeah, at this point, I'm just like, oh my god, it's so fun that all these people are here. I was at a party earlier today. I was talking to my cousin, and he's like, yeah, I've only watched from 5 on, so a lot of this I'm just lost on, but I don't really care. It's just, at this point, I'm like, oh, I'm watching nonsense, and this is fun. So I think there's a lot of mixed on what actually is going on with this franchise, but like, I don't think it's great that this is the one that Justin Lin wrote, because I don't think he has, like, a flair for writing, so to speak. But in terms of, like, oh, yeah, this everything I love about the Fast franchise is in here, I think it executes on what I wanted. So, like, I can't even be disappointed. It gave me what I wanted, and what I wanted was a dumb, like, action movie with all my favorite characters. And so I will say, to these franchises' credits, I think it's hard to have, like, the family be a thing in movies for, like, this fluid gang where you constantly root for, or, like, you have your guy, and I think it does it really well. So, like, to the movie's credit, it's not easy, in my opinion. Do you guys want my fire take, or do you want me to save it?
I mean, is your fire take specific to, like, one character or something?
No, my fire take is about the franchise
moment?
in general. No,
okay,
it's like about...
yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So, by this point, we have had 9 core Fast and Furious movies. And we have had 9 core Star Wars movies. I think that pound for pound, the Fast Saga is better than the Star Wars franchise.
Out of your mind.
Well, okay, hear me out. Obviously, the Fast franchise has never given me the highs of, like, episodes 4 and 5 in Star Wars, right? Like, anything close to that. However, it has never, like, depressed me as much as episode 1 and the J.J. Abrams movies. Like, the Fast franchise has never done that for me. So I really do think, pound for pound, that it's a better franchise. Because it hasn't failed as much as Star Wars has. That's my fire take.
I mean, there's nothing in here as bad as Star Wars 9.
No, not even close, I think. I think far and away Star Wars 9 is like a garbage fire. And, like, it punted on everything. And the Fast franchise has never done that. It's staying in its lane, even if it's a bad lane. But, like, I get the characters. I know what I'm getting into. I'm surprised very little of the time, but I'm always excited. So, like, you know, let's fucking go.
So this franchise has never disappointed me the way Star Wars has, but that's only because it's never made me like it as much as Star Wars has.
Okay,
I've never been as invested.
So,
right,
like, that's fair.
I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry.
I did say it was a fire take. It wasn't meant to be, like, a reasonable human being. Like, if I were on first take, it'd be like, Stephen A. Listen to me, Stephen A. Pound for pound, Fast and Furious is a better franchise than Star Wars. And then I would go into all the specific points about that. But, yeah.
I think there's a case to be made, but I also think the problem with Star Wars is the Star Wars fans are bad, and they shift their opinions constantly so that it's impossible to tell how any of them actually feel about any of it. Because, 1, 2, and 3 are bad movies, but ever so often the internet's like, actually, they're pretty good, and they have a lot of good points, and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, okay, so if I made this argument to someone that the Fast and Furious movies are better, it would be like, they'd be like, well, actually, we really liked 1, 2, and 3, and they're actually good movies. They'd be like, well, no one thinks that. You think that now because you didn't like this specific one that came out recently, but, like, I don't know. I feel like it's a tough argument to make, but I think you can make it in terms of just, like, consistency, and I think I don't know. I mean, Star Wars is like a generational thing, whereas this one is like it's only existed through one, you know,
but over 20 years, which is that was pretty much the gap from episodes like 4, 5, and 6 to 1, 2, 3, right? It was roughly 20 years.
Well, sure, but that's why people say that, like, the Star Wars movies never took off in China, was because they weren't part of the Chinese culture when the movie came out originally, like in the 70s. Okay. So the Fast and Furious movies never had to, like, they're dealing with their original fans more or less.
Right.
Currently. So it's like a weird, because I want to say that you could make the case that the Fast franchise has proven itself as, like, definitely a bigger blockbuster franchise than the Star Wars franchise if you just look at money. But
if you just look at box office money.
Yeah, like box office, yeah.
If you look at all total money, I don't think anything could beat Star Wars.
Well, yeah. But also, if you look at DJ Sadness watching Episode 9, just like, I've never been there, so...
Well,
right,
and
but Star Wars can only make you that sad because it has been so good before.
Right. And that's why I said pound for pound. I did say that, right? Like, in its own weight class, right? So and they're not in the same weight class, right?
I even think these guys could be in the same weight class, honestly. Like,
really?
They are mostly in the same weight class.
You think
Star
so?
Wars
No.
movies,
I love Star Wars. Star Wars are B movies. I'm not fronting about that.
Oh,
and
wow,
everything
okay.
I really love about Star Wars is in like one movie and a million shows or comics or video games or whatever. Like, I do think most of the Star Wars movies are not good. Like, are on the less than 50% of the, not like Rotten Tomatoes, but a 5 out of 10, whatever. Like 1, 2, 3, not good. 9, not good. And then, like, the other ones are all somewhere, not the other ones, but some of the rest of them are somewhere in the 5s or 6s for me. So I think that's a fair read of that franchise. And then, like, I think most of these are better than good, kind of. I think these movies have a better average for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, that was just my take.
But again, I do think that the cultural problem we have with the prequels and kind of misremembering how we all feel about them makes pinning down how people actually feel about the Star Wars movies kind of tricky.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I also generally don't think these movies are significantly better than the prequels, so.
Interesting. Yeah, like it's a whole separate thing, but yeah, I was just thinking about that. I've been like, each have had 9 movies, and I know where I am with both of these, right? And well, that's like Diggins, we were saying, like, if this is probably for like a certain audience, like nothing's probably going to change my mind on like Fast and Furious, right? Like I am set, I am here, and that's that. And like even like same thing with Star Wars, right? And because again, it's like you said, how I'm so invested in it that it can probably only disappoint me, or if you get like a great TV show like The Mandalorian, I'm like, yeah, this is fucking great. So
Yeah.
Just give me the prestige Fast and Furious TV show on Peacock, and then we'll
It's the little baby Fast and Furious racers on Netflix or whatever. It's that. Right? So how do we feel about that? We never watched it because it's probably not very good, because no one's ever been like, you gotta watch this, it's awesome.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's always a good sign. I'm kind of I want to say I didn't really, my biggest problem with this movie, as I was watching, I remember getting maybe like 3/4 of the way through it in the theater and being like, I'm kind of sleepy. This movie's kind of, it's kind of boring. Yeah, I think that out of all of the Fast and Furious movies, this movie is way too interested in itself. I think it's kind of the same thing as Dickens said, but even more so than like looking back at the history of like, look, it's these guys from this movie or whatever. This movie's full of like new history that I just could not care less about. And like, this movie's so many flashbacks. Oh my God. And like, I think you could, like, I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's like some people like this, and I don't know. What do you think was the story here? Do you think Vin Diesel put these in specifically so that he could prove that even though his brother is taller than him now, he used to be taller than him as a child?
That was insane.
Like, I'm casting my guy and I'm casting John Cena's guy.
Also, the Dom was like apparently darkest when he was young, and then he just got lighter over time, kind of like a Sammy Sosa deal.
I'm not gonna say that I bet I kind of know what John Cena looked like when he was younger, but it wasn't that. I feel like he was somewhere on the way to John Cena when he was like 18.
We have photos. Like, he was wrestling at that age. Like, we know what he looked like.
I don't think this movie's bad as a Fast and Furious. I think this movie, my biggest 2 problems with this movie, there were things I like. I think some of the action scenes were fun, but I never felt quite as invested in them as I usually do. I think part of my problem with this movie is it's really, really, really interested in the past. I think one of my problems with this franchise has been its inability to move forward and like have our characters do new things. It's like, oh, we have a kid. Okay, well, that's a new thing. Cool. We're putting the kid away so we can talk about my brother from the past. It's like, God damn it. We're doing a new thing. But then the other thing about this movie that really got me, it's way too cute. It doesn't get, I feel like it is on the on this weird. I've heard people say it jumped the shark. I don't know if that's quite it, but it is a little too close to being self-aware and like losing the charm that these movies used to have. Characters used to just land on cars and not ask questions about it, and I would go, because that's what this movie is, okay. I don't think we could. I think we had to eventually hit a wall where characters that just start asking questions about the physics of the universe they inhabit, because it would be weird if they didn't, and I just never wanted to hit that, to cross that Rubicon. Like, we are on the other side of the looking glass, and nothing matters in the movies to me besides the answer to that one question that a character asks. Everything else in the movie is like, it's getting in the way of that. So, I don't know. I feel like the balance is shifted in a really weird way. Also, I think it is I'm so proud that this franchise has gone 9 movies, 10 if you count Hobbs and Shaw, and still not crafted one interesting villain. I don't know how they did it. It's fascinating. Fascinating. Decker has no personality. He has nothing. None of them have anything. Honestly, whatever his name was, little German fancy boy or whatever, like little David Bowie, he might have been the best villain in terms of just like, I kind of remember his deal, but also he sucks. And Charlize Theron sucks in these. She sucks so much. I was so upset to see her again, even though I knew she was in it because of the haircut that we all saw a couple, months ago. Oh God. And then, yeah, it's not super long, but I don't know. It felt long probably because of all the flashbacks. But otherwise, there was some fun stuff in there, and yeah, I don't know. A lot of splitting up too. A lot of people going off and doing like side quests, and
yeah, it's not new.
It isn't new. That's true. I'm trying to think of I think the movies I like, most of the characters are together for most of the time, for most of the action, I guess. But I guess that's kind of true of this one. I don't know. This is another one where Vin Diesel isn't with the crew a lot of the time, and it's kind of like, oh, is this because you just were too busy? Did you not want to go did you want to just do a scene with, what's his name, where you stand in a room with him, and everybody else goes and does the action in Japan or whatever? But, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I don't know. I mean, where do we...
I don't know. The high side is you get scenes with, Letty and, Mia, just kind of, talking about shit, and,
isn't that great?
It reinforces this point
these deep characters have so much. I've been on pins and needles for 9 movies. When are Letty and Mia gonna interact? Because I don't think they have until this moment ever before.
All right,
every character interaction in these movies, except for Roman and Tej, every conversation could just be one character talking to themselves. Just saying the things out loud, I think he went to here, but then I think he went to here. And actually, you know what? He always used to say this, there's no reason these two characters having a conversation because there's nothing happening. Except for Roman and Tej, where you're like, oh yeah, they have a back and forth and characterizations that make them write differently than the other ones. But man.
I think you hated this movie, Nando. I think you secretly hated this movie.
I don't
think he secretly hated anything.
Yeah, I think this movie failed me in the ways that it is the most annoying when these fail me. I think you know what I didn't like. I think this movie really soured me at the ending. I think there was some stuff in the beginning that I liked, and all of that got kind of pushed aside for other stuff at the end that I didn't like as much. I mean, the best example is a certain character and her, whatever you want to call it. Her dramatic return. She's fucking... I don't know how she's the worst character this franchise has produced, but she is. And it's amazing. And that probably cemented this movie for me. It's I don't really know if I'm enjoying this. But I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. What was everyone's... let's say a nice thing. What was your favorite thing about it, Diggins? What did you like?
I'm going to have to think real hard about this.
What was your favorite line? You guys have a favorite line, DJ?
Okay, no, I got it.
Okay.
I liked when Tej's chain attached to that magnet, and Roman pointed out, silver's not magnetic, right?
That's a good line.
That was fun.
I wanted to be yeah, but let's really get down to how magnets work, huh, Roman? We're gonna have that conversation now.
The funny part, no, that's the thing. The thing about that line, Nando, is that's the first time the magnets come into play.
Yeah.
So they immediately establish, like, oh, most metals aren't magnetic,
Yeah.
and then ignore that for the rest of the movie's runtime.
It was a good line, though. I did think that was cute. DJ, do you have a favorite line?
Yeah, I think it might have to be, are those minions?
Oh,
God damn it.
I've never watched a movie with minions, and this doesn't count. I'm not counting it. Even though they are minions, they're called minions.
You've never watched Despicable Me?
Fuck no.
It's a good movie. But
it's got minions in it. I hate minions.
The first Despicable Me is good, and that was before they knew minions were like the big hotness.
Yeah. They always knew, and they're little heart of hearts.
I don't think they always knew.
Listen, I think we've talked about this. There was a time when both of those movies came out, and it was Minions, or it was Despicable Me, and it was Megamind, and they were like the same movie, and I loved Megamind so much. I was like, why am I going to watch what I'm guarantee will be a lesser movie for me? So I was like, maybe someday I'll be like, oh, let's check out Despicable Me, and I'll enjoy it. But then the Minions came from that in sequels and marketing and boardwalks and just everywhere. And then you were like, and memes on Facebook. And then you're like, well, I guess I'm never going to watch that first one. But I'm sure it's fine. I don't know. It's not for me. Okay. But Megamind's dope. Love that.
I also think Megamind's great, but the first Despicable Me is pretty good too.
Yeah. But anyway, Minions. Yeah, that was worst. What about the bit? Here's my favorite line. You guys want to hear my favorite line?
Yeah, tell me your favorite line.
All right. So the guys are on the road. This is the first mission in, I don't know, somewhere in Central America. I forget. You guys remember where they were?
Montecinto, which I have scoured the internet trying to find where Montecinto is in Central America, and the answer is I think they made it up.
Okay. Did they make up the last place in the movie too? Like, did they make up where the little kid is?
Did they make up Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia? Did they make that up?
Yeah, did they make that up? Was it them? They invented this Georgia place?
Now before any of you come at me, I will say there's a Montecinto, California that makes Googling Montecinto very difficult to find anything besides California. So maybe there's some place in Central America called Montecinto that my admittedly very casual Googling efforts didn't find. But that's what they call it.
You need to be a better hacker, Diggins. You gotta reroute the buy system through the 14 gates, and do all that stuff, because that's how you really get hacking done. But anyway, and we'll talk about hacking. My favorite line in the movie. So they're in Montecinto. They're doing their bit where they're all driving around. Everybody's got their, Tej has his supercar, or Roman has his supercar, which is great. Everybody else has dune buggies and not dune buggies, I guess, but off-road cars. And Michelle Rodriguez is on a bicycle, like a motorcycle, and she has what we don't even know what it is yet, but some sort of magic fucking circle cut in half, and she's got it in her motorcycle, and then her motorcycle wipes out, and it falls out of the motorcycle, and Michelle Rodriguez's line, I don't know if they knew this was going to be hers, but I knew that someone had to say it, is the device. That's the best line in the movie.
I remember thinking in the theater, wow, that sounded incredibly unnatural.
Yeah. Well, also, I guess, what do they call it? But device seems a little much. I don't know. And that's part of this movie. My tonal problem with this movie is it's who do you guys think you are? Do you think you're Ethan Hunt? Because you kind of are. But also, do all of you know that? Or do only some of you know that? Because some of you seem to think you're still the Fast family, but some of you think you're super cops and fucking. How did they even get there? How did they get to what is it called, Montecito? How did they get there?
So I will say, if I could, I'm going to be critical of the movie for a second. Yeah. I will say that the and maybe this is the problem with Justin Lin writing it, but they have gotten incredibly lazy with trying to explain certain things. And even the setup, because it makes sense that Dom's yeah, I don't want to do this, right? I have a son now.
Great reason, Dom. Stay home.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Dom being I understand, in my life I've wanted revenge before, but I have a child to look after, and you know, I just can't do this anymore. I've got to be responsible. I was like, what a mature choice from Dom. That's, you know what? Good for him. He should sit this one out.
But yeah, and like the fact that they can't do that or like come up with good reasoning that's not very flimsy, and then not explain any of the resourcing, I want to like, come on, try a little harder. But I think the
DJ, he scanned the footage and found the dollar store cross. Obviously, that must mean his brother is involved because nobody else on Earth owns a dollar store cross.
That was both a wedding ring and also a hood ornament, or a thing you hang from your, you know, everybody's got one. Sometimes they're tracking devices. It's very cool. It's a very, very cool thing. But I guess, it's like this movie treats them like they are the IMF, because these movies want to be Mission Impossible movies, but it's like, I can't have them doing that and then have Tyrese be like, but wait, are we flying a car? It's like, yeah, you are. You just got on a plane sent by fucking Mr. Nobody, which, like, he seemed like he was your point of contact. What, is he emailing you? What happened to all his guys? Where's everybody else? Is it just
where's
you four
Scott
are
Eastwood?
Now? Yeah!
Hey, more directly, where is he? We just forget he fucking exists halfway, like, not even halfway, like 10 minutes into this movie. It's like he starts the plot and then everyone loses interest in where he was. Is he dead? I don't know.
I mean, he just did a magic trick, you guys. He's gone to the wind.
And, like, the movie has no interest in, like, telling us, right? They're just like, yeah, guys, fuck it. Like we're gonna flip a fucking big, like, assault vehicle. You know, shut up. So, like, and that's fine, but there is something to, like, if you're gonna have, like, the spy-ness of this movie and be Mission Impossible, like, you gotta give us, like, a little bit of meat on the bone to explain, here's what we're doing. So, you know.
I think this is best exemplified by the character of Dom's brother, because in the present, he is, like, super spy, James Bond villain, terrorist trying to take over the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we also have these flashbacks showing us the backstory to this brother that's never been talked about before.
Yep.
And it's like, and we go back to Fast and Furious 1 world, where it's like street racing and, you know, kids growing up without a dad because he died. And stuff like that, right? And you might be wondering, what's the connective tissue there? How does he go from that to being like world's greatest super spy James Bond villain? And the answer is, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, there's that one bit. If I wanted to say the other line that I loved in this movie, but this one I hated, but like the device was so funny that I kind of was able to ignore it, was the one where it's like where Dom meets Jacob in the mansion thing during the white party outside, and Dom is like, Jacob, I forget what I said, but something device. And then Jacob says, this spy game is my business, Dom. And it's like, first of all, what do you do? Second of all, that's all they do now. What do you think these guys are? What are they? What are the Fast and Furious family? Do they work for the government?
So I will say, we talked about this in F8, but I had argued that it felt like every movie since 5, like, had a call to action that made, like, you could draw the line and it made sense, right? I feel like this is the first movie where you can't do that. Like, at least in 8, Cypher comes at Dom, and, like, that's the call to action. But in this, there's none of that. They roll up and it's, like, time to go. And that's admittedly not great. It's just, like, you know, how much do you care about that kind of stuff, right?
It's bizarre.
It definitely feels like the laziest in terms of plotting of these movies.
Justin Lin, man, maybe he can't write. Maybe he's a shitty writer.
Because I mean, also think about the device.
The device.
Yeah, man.
The device.
Love it.
Like, so it's this super weapon that can take over all the It basically is Cypher again. It's Cypher, but it's a device.
It's Cypher.
Yeah, it's Cypher, but a device. That's exactly what it is. She needs her own mini Cypher for herself to have now. Even though she is already Cypher. I mean, well, they're not working for her, so actually this makes perfect sense.
But like, even the basic questions about this, like, who built it? Why? Like, what's it for? What was it for? Like, why does this exist in the first place? They're like, no, I don't know. Who cares? It exists.
Yeah.
It exists and it's bad. Go stop it. Even later, they're talking about like the scientists who built it. And they're like, they wanted to make sure that no one could ever abuse it. And I'm like, why did they make it in the first place? If they thought it was so bad, why did they even make it? Just don't make it.
Yeah, break it in half.
Diggins,
and then another half. And then throw it in the garbage disposal. Like, what I don't understand about the Doomsday weapon here, besides the fact that, like, all the weapons are Doomsday weapons and none of them matter, whatever. But, like, it's like a weird little, like, it looks like what I always see online as, like, the prototype for the PlayStation 5. It's a weird metallic circle. Like, it's that. But it's those things, plus a DNA code, and I feel like these used to be, like, just computer programs, which is stupid in its own way. But this thing, you fucking plug it into a wall and makes the wall green and it spins around. Like, there was a second where someone says, like, it's a weapon that isn't even supposed to be invented yet. I'm like, did you guys get this from the future? Is that what's going on? Because I legitimately, it's got to be that or aliens. No one made this. We know all the guys. Don't we?
Tomorrow War.
Who are we going to meet later that's like, actually, I was behind the scenes making the big spinny thing?
Well,
because, I mean, we know it's Han's family, but I mean, just like the level, every movie where a new curtain is pulled back to reveal a new layer of, like, super spy crime and whatever that we didn't even know existed before. And every time it's gotta be the last one. Because it's like, oh, this guy, he actually controls all the shadow governments. And you know, just in Fast 10, there's gonna be another one. It's gonna be like, well actually, he's working for him. It just blows my mind.
Are you ready for Mr. Nobody to be the secret villain
all
along?
Yes, I am. This is the only way this franchise can win me back. I was gonna say he's bad. He's totally bad. He's definitely up to something. I don't know what, but he's up to something. He's got all these super weapons now, or if he's alive. He's the only interesting villain we have, unless it's one of the guys that, like, unless it's Han. It could be Han, but I don't think it could be. But maybe he's working for Mr. Nobody. Ooh, that's something. Ooh. But fucking man, especially with this movie retcons so much bullshit, and it's kind of boring. I want these movies to move forward. I want dead characters to be dead and children to be part of it, and them to figure that out.
You know what they need to do? They need to do like a Ghost Protocol. Like, they have to have it where it's like, the Fast team has been red whatever, and now they have no resources and they're on their own. They have to, like, do that movie.
I mean, they do that in this one, and it's just like, we went to a secret base full of resources that no one knew about, right? Because, like, once they get Ghost Protocol at the end of the big chase, when Shea Wiggum is like, you guys, you called in a favor to your last one. I'm going to drop you off somewhere, and you're in big trouble, you see? And then they have to go hide in a little sewer base from fucking, like, Batman or whatever. I don't even know what this thing is supposed to be, but he's Nick Fury now. Because I think the weird thing about these movies are, the James Bond movies are movies that are all essentially about the same thing. But they all kind of take the tone of whatever's popular at the time and emulate it. And that's how they seem to work, right? Which is like, oh, well, Matt Damon's running around in buildings. Well, now James Bond's going to be running around in buildings. We're going to shoot it like that. And now I feel like the Fast and Furious movie, like, they really have become this weird springboard for writers and directors to just, like, write an Avengers movie with no context if they wanted to, where they just have, the cars have superpowers now, and they write all the set pieces they always wanted to do. Like, this is, if anything, they wrote a Kingsman movie. That's what this is. And it's just, I don't know, it's just so weird. All of these scripts feel like repurposed scripts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think this one, and it's hard in the moment because, like, to your point, you never know how this is going to be turned into fodder for future movies to be like, actually, Han was this, or, like, whatever, and how they bring him back or whatever. But I guess what this movie does well for me is I was pretty in on the action sequences, and I thought, like, the unintentional comedy, like, really had me. Like, yeah, the meta stuff with Are We Invincible was silly, but, like, the one scene where Tej is, like, fucking with him, and you're like, oh, what's going on? And then Ted's just like, you're a fucking idiot. Like that was like my favorite line, like my actual favorite line, or like I guess moment.
I think that's exactly where the movie lost me.
Really? Shit.
Yeah, because I wanted them to be like, maybe we are invincible superhumans. Like, does exposure to Nos give you the ability to... Because, like, he shows him a coat. For people that don't know, at one point, Roman, they're, like, you know, kind of doing a checkup after a mission is over and talking it through. And Roman, we saw him get lit up by a bunch of guys. Like, a whole squad of 10 guys with AK-47, shot him a bunch, and he, like, did a bit of ducking and, you know, bobbing and weaving, and shot them all. And it kind of seemed like someone was saving him, but it wasn't. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, he got them all. And he goes to Tej and he's like, hey, isn't it weird? Look at my jacket. It's full of bullet holes. Like, something's up. And Tej is like going to go with him on this. And I'm like, yeah, maybe that's what this movie can be now. But you all have to decide it is. And like, Roman's absolutely right. And I don't know. Either the movie acknowledges it, and then that's what the movie's about, or we never acknowledge it. But we can't acknowledge it, and then that's still not what the movie's about for me, because it's the most interesting idea the movie presents. But it
like,
also,
you can't do that. Like, there's no way to actually do that.
Well, I mean,
how do you make them invincible supermen and women?
Exposure to the fucking super weapon, the little globe thingy.
Like, do you want to learn that, like, they're actually, like, the Eternals or something? Like, an alien's going to be like, you all are actually Zigzarkians. You're aliens from another race. Like, it's like, I mean,
that's
planet.
What we're watching anyway, right? Like, why not? Let's see.
I don't know, because, like, that or it's like a simulation. That's what we would have to learn. Like, they're all in like a simulation. But I don't know. I don't need that. Like, because it's it's crazy, right? Cypher has like the one line: "If this was a movie, this would be the part where the bad guy starts to lose." And I'm like, this is kind of hokey.
Terrible. That was terrible. It was also wrong.
Yep.
That's the point where the hero starts to lose. Idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, how about Cypher, man? They got to do something about that character.
She should have not been in a drone piloting the plane. She should have been in the plane.
I was so happy. I was so proud of the movie for exploding her. Spoiler alert. And then it didn't.
But not really.
Yeah, she has a whole empty fucking like air hangar thing with just this one little rig and no people.
Like, that's it.
Yeah, what?
Straight out of Wakanda. Like,
yeah, right? I just can't stand that character. It's so weird. I don't know. It's the worst haircut ever, right? Like, that is... It doesn't even go all the way around. It, like, dips back at the end.
I don't mind the shaved back. She did a similar thing for... No, Frances McDormand did a similar thing for 3 Billboards. But, when it swoops to the side a little bit, it looks like okay. But when it goes straight down, like Stupid Rick, then it's bad. It needs to, like, kind of do, like, a little side swoop. That makes it acceptable.
Listen, it's better. It's better than the White Lady Dreads.
I almost like the White Lady Dreads better, because at least it's, like, a weird little artifact of, like, a bygone era where... What's her name? Angelina Jolie would actually do that in a movie, and people would be like, oh, that's cool. And now we're like, that's lame. But with this, it's like, this is cool now, guys. See, it's in the movies. And now we're going to see it on the street. I mean, I'm not good at fashion, so what do I know? But I don't know. It's a very strange choice. When did she get the haircut? Did they cut her hair in little prison?
Well,
she's not been in prison.
Gap. Yeah.
What's she in? What happened to her?
She was captured by nobody.
So she was free and just like still being an international criminal, right? Up until right before this movie when Mr. Nobody catches her, and then while Mr. Nobody is transporting her,
that makes sense.
Jacob like downs his plane and takes her away from him, and that's why she's in the Hannibal Lecter cell.
Yeah.
Where was she pooping when she was in that cell?
In the corner, like an animal.
She pooped into the laser beams, and it burnt it up into nothing. Yeah. I don't know. This movie, Let's say a nice thing. Let's say something about the movie that we
We don't have to.
We do. Let's say a nice thing.
Do you guys have nitpicks?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to nitpick this movie. Yeah,
Oh, no.
because, like, there's whole scenes with a billion nitpicks in them because of a fundamental misunderstanding or just ignorance to what a thing is. But then there's also nitpicks where I'm just like, I think my biggest nitpick is the last thing in the movie. That is the thing that I am most confused about.
How is it nitpicky? I'm going to nitpick your nitpick.
Okay, so spoilers for the end of the movie.
Yeah, it's all spoilers. It's all spoilers all the time.
The whole movie ends and we get post-credit scene where Shaw is beating up the little guy, the little German terrorist man or whatever.
Yep.
Not German, I guess.
No,
is he from Georgia?
He's just some dude.
Yeah.
I think, right? I don't think that guy's in the movie.
Oh, it's not? I thought that was the dictator kid.
No. Oh,
No.
He's that kid's super dead. He's in the truck when it gets shot.
That's kind of what I figured, but then I saw, yeah, okay. So he's just beating up some guy, yeah. In a punching bag, and then Han meets him, and that's the end of the movie. And, like, what the fuck is that? Who cares?
Because he kills Han.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Well, he intended on killing Han.
So, he's a good guy now. Why does Han care? Han has bigger fish to fry. Like, people killed Han's parents that are probably still around. Like, there's a whole... Why is Han going after people killed a hologram of him or something?
Yeah,
who gives a shit?
That, by the way,
I like, legitimately, it seems like the person that wrote that just didn't know the whole thing. And it's like, would it be cool if they confronted each other? And then it'd be like, yeah, that would be cool. Except also in the movie, he's not dead. And Han's like what? Is he mad that Shaw... Because nobody else is mad at Shaw for anything Shaw did. We've all forgiven Shaw. Why is Han mad at Shaw?
Well, it's very easy to forgive Shaw because he's one of the very, very few people in this franchise with any charisma.
That's fair. I'll give him that.
If you're in a desert of likability, you're going to latch on to the first person who has any, regardless of how awful they are.
What's Shaw's deal now? Who does he work for?
Whoever, man.
Right? Like, so, who did he used to work for? Remember in the beginning of the first movie when he, like, beats a guy up with a bottle of champagne?
He didn't used to do crimes. He was just, like, he was
Shaw?
A burned secret,
Well,
whatever
yeah,
guy.
but I mean, like, in Hobbs and Shaw, what's he doing when the movie starts?
Oh, I don't remember.
Enjoying his retirement?
No, he's doing missions. Like, he's waking up and beating up people with a bottle of champagne, and that's, like, a whole... And I'm like, are you working for the British Secret Service or something? Like,
I think he just does crime stuff for his mom.
Is that what that is?
I don't know. You're asking me to to do the work this movie doesn't want to. So
you know what he's probably doing?
Matter.
He's probably trying to track down his sister. Now that I think about it, because his sister's the sister in it. Like she's the so that's probably it. But I just like I feel like we've been spoiled by the Avengers movies with like an expectation of some sort of canon or some sort of like connective tissue between movies besides just actors, like an identity that it's like, that's Nick Fury. You can at least go like, I don't know, he's in charge of something. And he shows up with a big like helicarrier and you're like, I guess he's been working on that for a while. But all these characters have no backstory. They're all so mysterious that when they show up again and you're like, I guess... Like, I just fundamentally don't understand why Han gives a shit about any of that.
I mean, I really just think it's as simple as like, hey, you tried to kill me. That's fucked up. Like, I actually think it's that simple.
But then if I'm Shaw, I'd be like, but you knew about it and have told me
used it
as part of your plans, and also, look, I never even really interacted with you at all. I mean, honestly, sure, I was trying to kill you, but now I'm not, and we're all totally cool with you and all your friends, so I don't really see what you and I have to talk about, do we?
That's my problem.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, are they working together now? Is that what we're supposed to read from this scene? Yeah, right? Just every character with an H last name, or H first name, I guess, because it's, well, I don't know. But whatever. That guy goes and works with Shaw. Yeah, so next it's going to be, who else has an H name? Oof, this is a tough one. Not a whole lot of H's in this movie.
Right.
Ramsey.
Letty.
I feel like there's a Hector in here somewhere, right?
Maybe.
Who's the bad guy in the second one?
I mean, I don't know if any of them are coming back.
I mean, you might as well. What's stopping us?
Well,
Nothing.
yeah, anyone's on the table. That's
Yeah.
what we've learned. So, speaking of, all right, can we talk about like the Han's death, rebirth, whatever? Because I was confused.
I'm also confused. So,
Yeah, go for it.
so we learn that Han, remember Han from 3
Han.
and then 5, and then he was also in 4, and then
And 6.
6, and then he died in the post-credit scene of 6 to set up 7. Before any of that happened, before he died, Mr. Nobody recruited Han because Han's parents are super scientists.
No, Nando.
Right?
You have misunderstood. He is
Oh,
completely
sorry.
unrelated to the scientists.
Yeah.
That's not his sister?
No.
No.
Oh, I thought...
She's just a random girl whose parents were killed, and he's like, well, I can't let her die. And now
Oh, I
they
thought
are
it was
they are off having their own big friend baby child adventures like The Last of Us somewhere else.
Wait, why is she in the Mexico apartment then? Or is that his apartment?
It's his apartment, I think,
Yes.
because
It
they're
is.
big friend and
Yes.
baby child now.
That's home for him. Mexico. It's his Mexico. It's
Right, but
home.
the baby child was there.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they live together. Because they're big friend and baby child, Nando. What about this? Don't you
okay.
get?
I gotcha. Okay. So he is, because he was in the area,
He is.
Mr. Nobody.
Well, and because he was with Giselle because Giselle trusted him.
Oh, God.
Now we
Right.
on that Giselle was Mr. Nobody
Okay,
person.
I
It's a
can't do
common
this. Diggins,
practice.
DJ, one of you take this.
It's a common practice of the CIA and other, spy organizations that if your agent has a significant other, that person is automatically trustworthy.
Okay.
So they've got. So Mr. Nobody approaches Han because he needs a job done in Tokyo, and Giselle trusted him. So this is after Giselle's death.
That was enough for Mr. Nobody.
And so what Mr. Nobody needs him to do is go steal Ares from these scientists. Now, who are these scientists? Who do they work for? And why did they make Ares? Fuck you. That's who.
Ares. Oh, my God. I forgot it was called Ares.
The god of war.
Yeah, remember how that's all Wonder Woman gives a shit about in her first movie is Ares. I gotta kill Ares. Why didn't we get her? Say one line of Ares in this. We could have a fucking Gal Gadot Ares soundboard created just to throw lines in the middle of this movie, you know?
Oh, man. But yeah, while he's stealing it, some other dudes who I don't know if they're working for Jacob or not. It's not really clear in the movie who they're working for.
Because it could have been
But
Shaw.
No, but Shaw doesn't know about the Ares and isn't after it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But
So I guess it's John Cena.
I think the timeline is John Cena doesn't go rogue until after this.
Yeah, wouldn't you have to? Is it Cypher?
Maybe?
A lot of irons in the fire. Just after all the doomsday devices that are up in the air.
Anyway, he sees them kill the scientists, and then he's about to leave, but he sees the baby child is being found by the evil murderers, and he's like, well, I can't let the baby child die. And then he saves her. And they go off and have their own Last of Us, Joel and Ellie adventures that we don't see, but the movie pretends we have that kind of emotional connection with them.
Yep.
Yes.
Literally,
So-
like, they start drawing on this emotional connection after they tell us this information halfway through the movie in a flashback plot dump. And it's supposed to be meaningful to us now. This whole big friend baby child relationship that we haven't seen at all.
Now here's my question. But like, okay, so what happened in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift? Was Han like, by the way, Mr. Nobody, I've got to do a street race with a friend. I know it doesn't seem that important, but that'd be actually a pretty handy place for me to die. Do you have anyone that might kill me at this time? And we can kind of make all those things happen at once? And also, I guess it's a hologram. It's got to be a hologram, right?
I work with the local Yakuza. I hope that's not like a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be a hologram, right? Like a self-driving car with a hologram inside. You know, technology we definitely had during Tokyo Drift.
I mean,
also, I'm mentoring this troubled youth who's like really going through a lot of trouble, and I'm basically the only stable like parental figure in his life at the moment. But fuck him.
yeah, he's got his friend Twinkie. Everyone calls him that. It's pretty funny. It'll be fine.
God.
He's about to have a girlfriend. It'll all work out for him. But I guess okay. So Han explodes, fake explodes, and then he leaves, right? And has this, like you're saying, baby child and old man thing.
Big friend,
baby child, right? So then it's like a character is after a nuke in Fast 8. Mm-hmm. And the Fast family is the last line of defense.
Yes.
Why isn't he part of it then?
Because fuck you, Nando.
Yeah, like Mr. Nobody could bring him out of retirement at any time, right? Like, why is that not the moment where it's like, oh yeah, well, you thought Han is dead because Vin Diesel, maybe this will make Vin Diesel nice again. But like, and it's not that I think that's like a deal breaker for me in these movies, but it just makes the fucking whatever's been going on so confusing. Who hasn't been working for Mr. Nobody the whole time? Anybody? Or like, who
Also,
hasn't been a super spy the whole time? Just Dom and Brian?
Oh, Brian.
Well, Dom.
Mia.
I mean, Brian used to work for the FBI, so I mean,
That's true,
In a sense, he was always openly a spy.
That's right. Yeah. The worst kind of spy. And then you have, I guess, Roman and Tej.
Yeah, they're just normies.
But
Nothing special going on there.
But yeah, Jacob is a super spy. Han is a super spy. Giselle was a super spy. Ugh.
And she gave up being a super spy to go work for Braga.
Did she though, or was that part of her super spying?
Right,
Was
was
she
she
undercover that whole
undercover?
time? Yeah, I think I'd have
But
to
then-
read it that way.
But
I
then
think it's
later,
important.
when she's asked to go do heists in Brazil with Dom, she's like, "Yeah, sure. This isn't any conflict with my super spydom."
Right? And Mr. Nobody's not like, yeah, maybe I should get The Rock guy off their back. Because maybe I want them to, like, again, this is why Mr. Nobody has to be revealed as the villain of this franchise.
Yes,
The only way any of it makes sense is if he's bad and he's just fucking with shit. And he's trying to collect all the super weapons for himself.
I think in 11, if that is the last one, they're going to have to describe how every movie, like the puzzle piece.
Oh my
fit
God, it'd be
into-
so
and
funny.
When
Oh my
Brian was
God.
in Miami, this with you, and
Yeah.
everything's gonna fit together.
Just like a 20-minute montage of all the like side characters shaking hands with each other. And it's like, you didn't even think that the mechanic from 2 knew the drug dealer from 6. Here they are. And they're shaking hands. Like,
There's just this movie is probably my least favorite. I think because this is the point where they have become like irretrievably up their own ass about their own mythology.
yeah, it would be
Like-
so annoying if any other franchise, we would never accept this from any other franchise. Right? Like if there was a Star Wars movie. I mean, that's why we didn't like 9, right? It's like, oh, actually, you didn't know it, but this guy's been working for him and he's his daughter and whatever. Like, this guy was a clone of this guy. It's the worst impulse Hollywood has right now. It's got to go. But this movie's going to make $1 bazillion, so it's going to continue for sure.
So here, I will say this about this movie, and again, the critical corner. So I'll say the critical things. You guys say the nice things. This movie easily had like the laziest writing in like recent memory of all the Fast movies, but I still think it was like the funnest to experience and go through, and I think that's what like really like kept me in, and I'm like, yeah.
So here's the question, DJ, to that effect. How much of your excitement do you think came from seeing it in a theater?
Oh,
You think if you watch this at home,
85%.
you'd be like, oh, yes, this is okay.
I
Not
can't-
to say that you'd have like a clear head and have the right answer, but like, I do think part of in the beginning, I had a little bit of shine of like, oh, there's Maria Menounos, and there's the commercial for Coca-Cola in the middle of the fucking like previews, and the Suicide Squad, all kinds of great stuff. So it did feel very nice. This movie got a huge advantage that no movie since will have.
I mean, listen, I can't watch Avatar like on my TV, but like seeing that shit in IMAX was like mind blowing. So like Yeah, the this in the movie theater, and like I had.
Well, I don't mean because of the movie theater experience. I mean specifically because like of pandemic.
Oh,
because like you're at the movies, you're home. We've been gone for too long.
the movie.
movies.
That's the shine that I think I took from it. That I think if there was going to be something that maybe influenced my opinion in a way that would give it a little bit more love than it deserved, it would have been that it was just like a giant screen showing a movie and COVID was over, knock on wood, at least in a small way.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to parse that and say, yes, this is how I got that. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure.
We'll see as time goes on.
That's fair. I will say, all right, so now I'd like to pivot to something. Now I want to say something nice about the movie that I think I can get you guys on board with. So
Okay.
The guy who plays the actor that's young Dom, like Dom in like his 20s.
Oh my God.
Incredible actor. He's so good.
I said this before. I said this before the podcast started, but it was really smart to offload all the emotional scenes onto bits where Dom is being played by someone who's not Vin Diesel.
I loved that kid. He was so funny, and like not funny. I mean, he was funny. It was funny. The idea of that child was very funny to me. Like what young Vin Diesel looks like, cast by Vin Diesel for sure.
Oh yeah, that's me.
That kid can't sound like that, right? Do you think that kid has like squeaky Jared Kushner voice? Like, oh, hi, I'm here to do the Fast and Furious movie. All right, you're reading for Dom Toretto. Okay, you're right. Not even that, because it's more slurry.
That's a testament to his level of acting.
Yeah,
and how
fucking
good
nailed
he
it.
is. So,
you know who else acted real good in this movie?
who?
Old and even more old Michael Rooker. What a weird little spot he had in here. They put a wig on him, so he was even older.
Whomst?
Michael Rooker.
He's Buddy.
I don't.
The mechanic who's like, "Oh, Dom's dead. We gotta go help you. We gotta throw a 50 on that chain or something." I don't know.
Yeah, they have him be young and then old in the same movie, and it's not like he's a character we've seen before. So that was a real choice.
They just like dirt him up and put a hat on him in one scene, so we can't really see how old he is. And then in this one, he's just the age of Michael Rooker, which is fine. Like Michael Rooker's cool, I like him, but it's just a really weird choice to have all these characters played by two different guys. Then Michael Rooker's aged about 5 years in the last 30 or 40 years, however long this movie is. Like how many, what year is the flashback take place in?
89.
Anybody remember? Okay, yeah. So 31, 32 years maybe? I don't know if the Fast and Furious movies take place in the current day or if they've timelined forwarded. Yeah, so Michael Rooker looks terrific.
Yeah, he's actually aged incredibly.
Coronas keep you young. That's what they say.
Hey, here's a nitpick.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Since you bring up that scene with Michael Rooker.
What's up?
So part of that is Dom going like, "I know you took Jacob in after my daddy died." So like that's where Jacob was going before Dom ran him out of town for no reason, which we'll get to.
So, yeah.
So is that where Mia was? Why doesn't anyone talk about Mia in any of these flashbacks? What was she doing?
She says like, "Oh, I talked to him a little bit after when she's having her great scene with Letty where they're not eating ramen."
Oh, because she is girl. What can she have? Car, We're talking about car stuff. And there's car races and car machines, and she is girl.
Hey, the women in this movie can car and fight men now. We've come a long way.
I mean,
That's
one
true.
of
They
them
let them
kind
fight
of
men
can.
now.
That's true. Well, they do the same fucking fight. Punch him in the dick. That's the move, baby. Michelle Rodriguez gets one dick punch per movie, and I'm fine with it. I think it's great. I'm very happy that she.
If I was an actress like Michelle Rodriguez, I would want that worked into my contract. I get one dick punch per movie.
Yeah, right. That'd be really funny.
But
if everybody else just can't lose fights, and you they're going into a fight, and it's like, all right, they're gonna tumble around or whatever. But a fight with Michelle Rodriguez start, and you scan the room like, who's getting their dick punched? Somebody, one of these goons.
Who looks like they have the most exposed crotch?
Yeah. Yeah, who deserves a punch to the dick most? But only one. One and only one dick punch. That's what makes it fun. If everybody's getting their dick punched, then who cares?
Yeah, no bueno.
But yeah, that scene, Mia says, like, I kept some contact with Jacob longer than Dom did, but she doesn't say where she was or what she was doing, and the flashbacks act like she might as well not even exist. She is a non-entity in any of them. So, like, what was she doing? Where did she go? What was she feeling about all of this? It just seems like she's an afterthought.
Why does she abandon her kids?
Diggins, I don't want to upset you, or I don't want to ruin this for our audience, but it's probably going to be revealed that she's a spy, too, during that time or something.
Oh, please. Yes,
Every
please.
minute we haven't seen her on screen, she was also being a spy. Or an alien.
Be a spy.
Whatever, who knows?
Please.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah, the kids, man. Could this franchise give less of a shit about the kids? So proud of them for just, friends,
man.
just ignoring the children.
Does this movie have the worst child dialogue of all time?
Yes.
Oh, man, yeah. Let's hear it. You guys remember it?
I remember. I will never forget it. I think we're thinking about the same scene.
Yeah, of course.
So it's early on after Dom has declined the call to action. He's putting little. As I said, it was actually a fairly responsible choice of his. But he's putting little Brian to bed, and apropos of nothing, like completely out of the blue, little Brian just like looks up at his father, his eyes full of wonder, and says, "Daddy, do you know where God lives?"
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Now, if Dom was like, "Oh, where?" and the kid had said, like, "In a big castle in the sky, see, I drew it in this book," I'd be like, all right, this movie knows what a kid is.
Yeah.
But he says, "In your heart," and I'm like, fuck this movie.
I forgot about that.
Children, as far as this movie is concerned, children just sit around like dispensing inspiring quotes when you punch them.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh man, yeah, that was a crazy line.
What were you thinking, since you had forgotten, apparently?
No, I'd forgotten how stupid it was. I remember it. I remember that there was a conversation about God with a kid that was bizarre. But I'd forgotten the specifics of it. Here's what part of me thought, that Vin Diesel asked, "Do you know where God lives?" And the kid was like, "In your heart." I forgot that the kid asked the question.
Yeah, no, if it had been like that, like it's a thing Dom had told him before and he was just repeating it, I'd be like, this is corny as hell, but whatever. But the kid just says it apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
He just wants to share that he knows where God lives. That's, or wants to.
Do you know where God lives? In my mind. And then, like, a vase behind Dom shatters out of nowhere.
My belief in him makes him real.
Yeah, where God lives, in the quarter mile between my car and the finish line. That's God for you.
Do you know? No, wait. Do you know where God lives? The lights all like shatter at once. Not here.
Yeah, that would be great. It's now Dom's like, oh no, everyone's doing a Central America mission, and I have the kid from that movie where What If the Kid Was Superman in my house? Little Omen movie, just me and the kid. That'd be a great movie. But The Rock can see in the dark. We all know that. It's one of his superpowers.
So The Rock has to go save him?
The Rock has to kill the kid. The kid is a demon. That's my version of this.
So that's what causes the Rock Vin Diesel fallout in the movie universe.
Oh God, I forgot the Rock isn't Vin Diesel. Yeah, they're the same guy in my brain. I call him the Rock.
I knew you were doing that. I wanted to see how far I could stretch this before you realized.
He is a strong man. He has the will of a rock. He is the face of a rock. You can see they can both see in the dark, probably. I don't know. Scorpion King probably has superpowers, just like Riddick.
They are both big, strong slabs of ham. The only difference is The Rock can act.
And they hate each other. Or something. It's unclear. They seem to have squashed the beef, but also he wasn't in this post-credit scene, so it doesn't probably.
The Rock has like said some really backhanded things about it, where he's basically like,
Yeah.
I don't want to fight anymore, but also we're still not friends.
Yeah.
Which, like, weird.
Do you think this movie would have benefited from some rock?
I don't know, actually. You know what I think this movie's missing is, and it's sad for several reasons, but they've never found a suitable replacement for Brian. And we alluded to this in one of the previous episodes, but like his character does do a lot of work in terms of like what it brings to the franchise. So I actually think that's something that's really
Like he babysits the kids now. That's pretty good. He's
Yeah.
just a little, and he drives a car. Maybe he gets out of it. We'll never know. But there's a car being driven to a place. Credits.
I don't know. I just think he brings something.
Well, yeah, he has a role that Vin Diesel, excuse me, not The Rock. I was about to say The Rock. He has a role that Vin Diesel now needs to absorb, which is the Everyman and then Dominic Toretto are now the same guy. Where we did get to offload a little bit of the plot and like just kind of relatability to Paul Walker, and that was a lot easier to. I feel like that makes it a lot easier to write those characters.
Right.
Also, I think The Rock would have been a very solid bridge to, like, Fast Gang. You're the guys. We need you to help us get Mr. Nobody back, or the device, or whatever. He's the guy that calls them in the beginning of these movies.
That's true.
But who the fuck knows where he is? Why don't they call him? They hate
He's
him
out
now?
of the game now. After 8, it's like, I'm done. Daddy's coming home, right?
The Rock? Yeah, but, like,
Yeah.
he just did one of these. Did they not know about Hobbs and Shaw?
I actually looked this up. Hobbs and Shaw takes place after this movie.
Oh.
Okay, that makes sense. But wait a second. He's not out of the game, though, because in the beginning of the movie, he's doing stuff. In the beginning of Hobbs and Shaw, he's, like, waking up and busting heads. Right?
Oh, I haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw since we, like, talked about it when we
So, like, I remember...
saw it in theaters.
Here's all I remember about Hobbs and Shaw. In the beginning of the movie, it starts with this, like, kind of split screen thing of, like, they both wake up, and they both have a breakfast, and then they both get in a big fight because of their job. And I don't remember what he's doing, but I definitely remember that Jason Statham is fighting with a bottle of champagne.
I really stuck with you. It really stuck with you.
Well, his line is like, "Oh, my champagne problem," and I was like, "That is a crazy line," but I love it. Like, I really like that. If you beat up everybody with champagne, also, I feel like it's gotta be tough to get hit in the face with a champagne bottle. You know, it's a solid bottle.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean,
there's a
can
bit of a
cuss you
Jackie.
for sure.
I want to say it was in the Jackie Chan Adventures when he like used a champagne bottle as like a gun. Have you ever seen that?
What?
He like so he takes a bottle of champagne, he holds it by the neck, and he uses his palm to like push in the cork, and that explodes the bottom of the champagne bottle at someone.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was awesome. Champagne bottles are cool as hell. But anyway, where were we? Okay, so there's a device that controls the world, satellites.
Call to action, we need you. Here's something weird. So, I think Diggins, you talked about this in 8 or 7, where it's like they have an idea, but they never really cash in on it. So in this one, the idea is supposed to be like, Letty's like, Dom, we're not Brian and Mia. We love this life so much, despite the fact that we take care of child. And we just can't deny that. This is who we are. And they kind of pick up on that thread, but not really.
No, they don't pick up on it at all. She says that, and then later she has a conversation with Mia about it, and then it never comes up again. No one talks or thinks about it for the rest of the movie.
And also, it's like, I understand. Like, we've been in these movies before. If this was the first movie, maybe I'd buy it, but like, they keep killing you guys. And yeah, none of it counts, but still, I get why any of you would want to not be in it. Vin Diesel, his guy seemed pretty happy. Like, Dom was happy with this little kid. Maybe he wanted to do a couple murders every now and then. But, like, I don't know, man. Maybe this is a Letty problem, and this is not a Dom problem. Where it's like, get over yourself and start raising your kid and stop trying to, you know, do supercar crime to save the world because it's stupid. And
Well,
also,
now,
there's enough...
Be fair. Not her kid.
Oh, yeah, that's
She's
true.
agreed.
She couldn't... Yeah, she doesn't have any skin in the game. She's just ready to go.
She has clearly agreed to be a maternal figure for this child.
Right.
She's not his mother, and she explicitly acknowledges that to him at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's true. I forgot
Remember
about
your
that.
mom? I talked to your mom.
She's
Bet that kid
like,
loves
your
to hear
mom is
that.
watching you. Your mom is watching you from heaven. We got to get this reference in because these movies are explicitly Christian normative, and it's very important for our appeal to like the Midwest.
Yeah.
It's the only reason they're still like in on these movies.
We killed that one Jewish character. She's the one that we haven't brought back. We have literally dug every other body out of the, like, just fucking Han and all the bad guys. Nobody's ever dead in these movies. I'm sure the dad will be back in the next one or whatever, but Giselle stays dead.
Man, what if the next movie the dad's a cyborg?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't care. I don't see why not. Might as well. We have holograms, I guess. What's your read on the Mr. Nobody? What's his deal? What's he up to?
I really think he might be trying to get super weapons together and is a bad guy.
What happened to the one from the end of this movie? It just blows up? It's like gone?
They just take it. Dom takes it out of its weird green casing, and then we never see it again.
So stupid.
I have a nitpick, by the way.
Yeah.
So after they flip the big convoy, right? They flip it over using like the wires and stuff.
Which time? The first time or second time?
I think the first time.
Okay, yeah.
So they're like, we have to get in it from under, right? So they flip it to get in. But when they're inside, like everything's right side up, but everything should be upside down because like they're in an upside down convoy. So how is everything right side up? Right?
Huh.
Hey, DJ?
Yeah.
Great point.
Great point, DJ, yeah. Remember the bit where the girl, what is her name? The one who I thought was...
Ramsey?
No, Han's sister, the new one.
Ellie.
Remember when Ellie, we learned that she has the DNA fucking, like, to open up the super weapon, and she holds it, and it, like, turns green in her hands from our touch. As if it's not just, like, her biometrics, it's, like, her aura is what's turning this thing on.
I can't believe that this conversation never happened. So let's say like Ramses is the one person who's like really like disconnected. Or even like Roman could bring this up, but you know they pull aside. It's like, guys, the safest way to protect the world is, I'm sorry, we have to kill her. And Dom goes, no, she's family. We can't do that.
And then
like,
Han's like,
Dom.
no, she's not my family. And they're like, oh, I misunderstood. This plot's going really quick. And I just assume whenever we introduce a new character, somebody's something, you know? But I don't know if you remember this, DJ. I mean, I don't think you do because we just touched on it. That's the plot of Hobbs and Shaw. The sister has the formula in her and they can't kill her.
Yeah.
But to not, you know, that's our only option to keep Idris Elba. What's his name? Brixton, I think. From getting the
lore.
Yeah, from getting the super bio, virus thing.
He's a good villain.
Yeah, he is. He might be the best one, just because he's the best actor. Maybe not the best actor, but like he's able to like talk and be like. I mean, he has the same backstory as Shaw does in Seven, but he gets to talk about it and be upset about it, where Shaw doesn't ever get that. So yeah, he might be the best character, like the best villain in this series. I think he's dead, but like not really, probably. Like they like throw him off a mountain or something. Yeah, and he's got robo implants, so nothing can kill him.
Well,
he's the Black
actually,
Superman.
the real villain like shuts off his cyber implants and he like seizes up.
Oh yeah, because the real villain is Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I remember that now. It is though. He's the free guy. He's dead.
No, wait, hold on. What if the real villain of the Hobbs and Shaw movies is Mr. Nobody, and then the real villain of the Fast Saga is Ryan Reynolds?
I'll take it. There be hints.
Anything else going on?
Hints all around. There'll be references to things like aviation gin in every scene. And it's like, God. Oh my God, they were trying to tease Ryan Reynolds in here.
The vasectomy.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. I'm Ryan Reynolds. My shit's getting kind of old, but whatever. Everyone loves me.
Yeah. Let's talk about the set pieces real quick. So the first set piece is the one where they're driving around. It's a very normal set piece. They pretty much do like an Uncharted bit. Mm-hmm. They're like driving through a jungle and shooting and driving and shooting and driving.
Yeah.
Tyrese has a moment that's kind of interesting.
Well, he takes out like a whole army. And, like,
yeah, but
that
after
pretty
that,
interesting.
That's interesting. But do you remember the bit with Los Minos or whatever they are?
Oh yeah, the mines. I like this. I actually like this a lot.
I did see. I thought that's a fun, premise.
I like that later he knows the Spanish word for fire, another very common word, but he does not know the Spanish word for danger.
Yep.
Well, he didn't know like danger like Los Minos. He didn't know what the whole thing meant. Right.
Right.
So
he can't do one of I feel like, man, Tyrese in languages between the last movie where he couldn't speak Russian but thought he could, and then this movie where he can't just kind of guess that Minos is mines.
I really got to point out it's Minas with an A.
Oh, sorry.
And it would therefore be Las Minas if there was a las there, but there wasn't.
That makes sense, because what is Minos? Is it like bowls or something? It's like Minotaur. I feel like that's like.
I don't know that it.
Wow.
I don't know that it means anything in Spanish. Minos is like Greek.
That's a place, right? Well, no, because now that I'm thinking about it, Tor is the bull part. I think Minos is like he's the bull of Minos, which is like an island or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all played Hades. We know.
Yeah, whatever.
What's his backstory?
The important thing is it's Minas with an A.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to nitpick that scene a little bit because this fucking video game ass military of this Central American country shows up. There's intruders instantly, just like no questions, no trying to arrest them, nothing. Instantly go to murder. They kill like dozens of members of this Central American military, easily creating an international incident. And then they like jump across a chasm to another country. And again, like video game enemies, they're just like instantly respect like international boundaries. Like, oh, well, no, they're outside of our threat zone. So just go away.
I mean,
like,
the bridge is gone, so how are they even going to get... I guess they have a helicopter, but still.
They're in a helicopter at that point. They're not even being chased by cars anymore. But, like, that's the helicopter's part of it. The comical levels of, these people need to die, no questions asked, and we're going to throw everything we have at them. They don't work for Jacob. They're not part of his stuff. They're just the military of this country that have decided that these 5 people specifically must die.
I mean, yeah. Why not?
I mean, it's fine for a silly movie like this. I just find it very silly.
That's fair. You know what, Diggins, you know what? Good point.
Great point, Diggins. I feel like the bit where Tyrese is getting out of his car and not getting exploded by the mine, was there a second in there where you did think he was going to die?
I mean, I don't know when we crossed the Rubicon for him being like, actually, no, I am invincible. I think it's the bullet scene, but we're past that.
Yeah, exactly. We've moved on, and I think the
Tyrese
bullets
work in this movie. That was good.
Well, the bullet scene's tricky because you see it and you're like, is this just a poorly shot action sequence, or did he just get shot a lot? Because it does look like he got shot a lot, but then he's like, I'm cool, it's fine.
At the end of it, after he's shot everyone else, you could even see like parts of his jacket are smoking where he's been shot.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's Kevlar. Do you not know how bulletproof vest works? Gosh.
Right, they instantly absorb the entire impact and you don't feel anything.
Yeah. So he gets out of he does like a little kind of cool move to get out of his humongous car before it gets shot by a mine. And then he gets out of it and runs away. And then the mine blows up the car and it lands on him. I was so proud of the movie for killing Tyrese in that moment in such a stupid way. But then he survived and I was mad at it. That was really cool. He's like my favorite character, but I was like, oh my god, what a way to go. I thought he survived, but he didn't.
They gotta kill Ramses. I think if they want to like bring some stakes back, they gotta kill someone. It's been too long since we've killed someone.
They gotta kill fucking Vin Diesel, and they had their shot.
It's been almost forever since we killed someone. Since, as Nando pointed out, there's only one permanent death now.
Yeah, and for now, I mean, she was also working for Mr. Nobody, so who's to say that wasn't another magic trick, you know?
Man, that'd be real fucked up if Mr. Nobody knew she was alive when he was recruiting Han and just didn't say anything.
But obviously, that's what'll happen. For sure. Without a doubt, actually. I feel like the last one of these, she'll be in it.
See, the only reason I say maybe not is just because she might be too big for these movies now.
if Wonder Woman 84 was a real absolute grand slam, I believe it. And even if I think these movies are still very big, so I think it's the kind of thing where she comes back for a little bit, not for a whole movie, but she has a big cameo, and it's like, oh, she is alive.
Charlize Theron just come back for a single day of shooting on that one set.
Exactly, or like Shea Wingham or whatever. Maybe like in the end of the movie, Han retires, and then she's there, and Mr. Nobody's like, I did one more magic trick, Han, and then that's it. But I mean, they can't retire because there's always another, super weapon or something.
There's always more money to make.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the bungee jump thing, whatever we're calling that, the bridge?
That was cool. That was a cool stunt. I liked it. It's impossible. The rope would have snapped, or the pole would have fallen off, but it was fun.
Remember, I think the bit before that is even dumber.
Goddamn bridge. Yeah, no, Tej, Roman, and Ramsey should be dead. You can't drive on a bridge that half of it is no longer supported. It's not like it's not like Wile E. Coyote style. Gravity doesn't catch up with it until it chases you across the bridge. The whole bridge is now inoperable once that half falls off, and you fall and die. That's how it would. That's what would happen.
I don't know. It's still cool.
I mean,
sure,
it's cool. It's cool when Wile E. Coyote does it,
I think we're well past physics in these.
It's cool when he runs through a tunnel. That's actually cool.
Later the movie pretends it doesn't. Tej is like, I know all about physics, and that's why I know we're going to be okay. Man, physics hasn't worked in these movies for a decade. What do you mean?
It's all numbers, Diggins. It's all numbers.
Also, since when is that your personality? Why are you doing this now?
Yeah, Ludacris doesn't know what to do.
He's a free agent,
the
man.
Coolest guy.
He's just whatever the movie. Because he was the hacker, but now he's not the hacker anymore because we have a new hacker. So yeah, he's just the scientist, I guess.
He's just the midpoint of. He's just the midpoint of the thruple of him, Ramsey, and Roman.
Yeah, well, I kind of think, is Ramsey gonna? There was a moment in the end of the movie where I was like, oh, does Ramsey actually have a new guy she could maybe be with? That'd be fun.
What, Han?
No.
Little nobody?
Jacob?
No. Remember when she's introduced to Santos or one of the...
Oh, yeah!
And I was like, oh my god, are sparks flying? Is it just going to be some fucking random, old member of the team, and both of these guys have just been wasting in these movies, falling in love with her, and she's like, oh my god, anyone but these two. What's your name? Okay, you. Please, you. That would make me so happy. But yeah, the funniest part of the bungee jump thing, I do think, I think these movies, I don't know. I think that would have blown my mind had I not seen it in the trailer. I think these trailers are a little too much. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't think I could not see it though. I feel like I'd see it eventually.
Yeah, because it's everywhere.
Yeah, all the big bits were in the trailer for this. But I think the part of that scene that was even was wilder than the trailer, because in the trailer, Jacob gets caught by the jet and then flies away. Dom and Letty, oh, you're not doing what I think you're doing. Oh my god! Then he does the bungee jump, and then credits title F9 or whatever. The funniest part of that scene was how they landed. And they just fucking rolled into this mountain, and they were totally fine. I mean, it's another wonderful bit of movie where Vin Diesel is doing a crazy thing in a car, and his whole direction is just make a face, oh, I'm gonna hold it together. I love watching him try to act through whatever those action sequences are, because they're very fun. I think that's a real big one in these movies, because I don't think we really get too much of that in the end with the magnet stuff. But yeah, I don't know. This movie's weird.
Really, really showing your love for it. Just
I like these movies kind of, but I feel like I don't know what it is.
Nando, join me in the thinking the Fast and Furious movies are bad.
It's not that I don't think they're
the
bad.
Consensus opinion. I really do.
No, because I like racing movies. I think this movie and none of these movies, these movies have forgotten about the fun racing stuff, and now they just do all the bullshit.
Do you like racing movies, or do you like Speed Racer?
Well, no, because I like the parts of 6 that I really like when they're racing a tank and fighting. Like, I like the parts with cars. I love a good car movie. Cars are the best. I don't like driving them. I mean, like, driving is fine, but...
The whole finale of this movie is nothing but cars.
Like, it is and isn't. Like, it's mostly people... Like, they're not cars, though, and it's not a race, and it's just, like, kind of just... I don't know. It's kind of cars. Because, yes, they're in cars. And the cars are magic, and they can, like, push and pull cars and stuff, but... I feel like... I guess we just... I don't feel like we're seeing new... Like, the fun tension of a fun car race scene, I don't think it exists anymore in these. And I think the tank scene is as close as we'll ever get to it. I don't think we've ever gotten back from there. But, I don't know. I even like Tokyo Drift, I feel like, did a pretty good job with that. And I'm not a huge car guy. Obviously, I love these movies and I love the Cars movies. But I like a good, like... you know, I like Rush. You ever see that movie? That movie's fun. Pretty good one.
Is that the one, the Hemsworth one?
Yeah. And Baron Zemo, his face of rat. That's a fun one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's good in that. I like the Transporter movies, even though those kind of just became karate movies at the end. But
I
in the
think that's
beginning,
the natural progression when you have a franchise that is a racing thing. Like, if Gone in 60 Seconds became a franchise, like, it definitely would just turn into Fast and Furious.
I wonder about that.
Well, that's because car stunts are inherently uninteresting, and you can only do so many things with them.
Wow,
that is true. I think there's a limit to how many things you can do with them, and eventually you hit that ceiling, and it's like, well, I guess they have to get out of the cars now and shoot each other and punch bigger and bigger men.
I talk a lot of shit about car movies, but one of my favorite movies of all time is Mad Max Fury Road, so...
Yeah, great car movie. And that one, I think, out of a lot of the Mad Max movies, has some of the most car stuff in it, because a lot of the Mad Max movies are like other stuff. It's a lot of like shooting and running around, but like Fury Road has some really solid action scenes with, you know, bikes doing stuff, and all the cars have different little gimmicks. It's great. It's wonderful.
If I could speak actually to something kids don't do this at home, you know, just with like obviously a lot of dangerous car stuff, so like don't try this at home. I will say 80 miles an hour is not fast enough to dodge mines in a minefield, so don't do that.
I feel like if it were, it probably wouldn't be that hard to dodge mines in a minefield, right?
Yeah.
Most cars can go 80 miles an hour.
You guys landed on? It should be like 150.
Most cars probably can't do 80 in like an unpaved field in the jungles of Mexico.
That's true.
Right, I guess that's not the speed where you can dodge a... Like, he even says, like...
absolutely not.
Like, even he says 50 meter explosion, and I'm like, wait, how are you...
Yeah, half-second delay on the thingies. You gotta
understand, this is a movie explosion where if the literal fire doesn't touch you, then it does nothing.
Yeah.
The concussive force, that's not a thing. What are you talking about?
Well, it is funny how many of them Tyrese's car takes, like, pretty much half... Like, you know, it's like half on the mine, and I feel like a couple of those, you're done. Remember when he has a cool car and everyone else has cars that are just like random cars? Where did they get these cars?
I wish we understood more of the asset management, and it's why you need, like, Mr. Nobody or The Rock to actually be doing this. That's actually, I think, the biggest failure of this movie, where it doesn't show the infrastructure of, like, how the team is doing its thing. But I think it's important to the movie just to get a little bit of explainer of what's going on, because you could cut the scene where he's talking to the fucking FBI agent who never got surgery to repair his nose. Like, come on, man, you got to find a plastic surgeon to fix that shit up for you.
Yeah, I love that his nose is still busted up after, however many years, just so we know who he is.
Just go see a surgeon, my dude. But, like, I don't think you need that scene, but, like, put in a scene with, like, Nobody or The Rock, or, like... Or Scott Eastwood. Like, maybe Kurt Russell and The Rock, like, can't be bothered to be here, but, like, I thought that was the point of Scott Eastwood. Like, he should be free to do all that shit.
Well, and also, it's like, it's a conspiracy, but it's not a whole big conspiracy. It seems like it's John Cena and, you know, little dictator child and kind of, what's her name? Cypher. But it's like fucking call other people. Call the army. Cut off their satellite. Call other people. Get the police involved. I don't know, man. Why are you the 6 people that have to deal with this?
Yeah. I give you that. It is odd, but that's where we are.
Yeah. I mean, again, it would make sense if it was a car thing. If it was a convoy, was the whole thing. He lives at a convoy, he never releases a convoy, no one can get the convoy. Then I'd be like, all right, well, we got to get these guys involved. But the car stuff's almost like incidental. Like, by the time you get to the car stuff, we're like an hour and a half into this movie.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why 6 and 7 strike the perfect balance. Because 6 is like, we need these guys. If you want to catch wolves, you got to use wolves. And then 7 was the consequences of their actions.
Right.
Like, that's why those two have just such a perfect blend of that. And I don't know, could they get some of the writers from 6 and 7 and not have Justin Lin do the writing? Like you could get back to some of that, I think, and I think you could have it be successful.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe they have no, which fine.
I mean, it's gonna make $1 zillion, so whatever. They're gonna keep doing it forever the same way until we're bored.
I mean, I think what they the progression of how can we be, how do we make the villain a twist on what Dom has to face? And it's in 8, they have to face Dom. And it's, in 9, Dom has to face the one thing he said he always loved, family. It's you never turn your back on family, but you did turn your back on family, blah, 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 blah.
All the time.
But it turns out that, at the drop of a hat, based on nothing, he will abandon family forever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then, what do you do for fasten your seatbelts? How does it get ratcheted up even more?
The kid is the bad guy. He has a
His
little
son,
car.
Brian.
Yeah, little Brian goes and gets him.
That's the thing I said about God not being here. That's Fast 10.
It might as well be. Brightburn, but with cars and a child.
All right. Bold move. Bold move, bold move, bold move, bold move. Could you, and I don't even know if the real life cast would let this happen, could you recast Brian and bring him back into the...
I think that would be fine. So I want to plant a flag here. I think we're too precious about recasts. Just recast people. It's fine. Recast Chadwick Boseman. It's sad that he died. It's a fucking superhero movie. Just put a new guy in there. It's fine.
Absolutely.
Same thing with this. Paul Walker died young. It's tragic. It's sad. These are fucking cartoon movies. Just put in a new guy. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I feel like Paul Walker is not just the glue that holds this franchise together, but he's just kind of. It does become weird where it's why isn't he here? Why is Mia here but not him? And I get it, it's not her brother, but also, it's his brother, but also, fuck it, man. He's the car superhero. Bring him. He's gonna help.
I had that thought. It'd be something if, Dom and Brian could go, it's good to have you back. And, and it's good to be back. Mia will watch the kids this movie, except Jordana Brewster's going to be like, no, I'm getting my paycheck. That is crazy how Jordana Brewster was probably listen, I know that my, in-movie husband died, but I still need to eat, so... Can we do something here?
Well, considering how badly this movie wants to pander to fans, I think it has more to do with people complaining about Mia not being around.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, you think so? You don't think Jordana Brewster phoned up Universal and be like, hey, what the fuck's going on?
Oh, I'm sure she wants to be in them again. I'm just saying, I think the decision to bring her back is powered by the same impulses that made them bring Han back.
Yeah. It really, I think the Han thing, besides not working as a just physical thing that happens in this universe, I don't think it was worth it to bring him back.
I disagree. I think it was super worth it.
Why?
Is it worth it because you think Han is cool and you like seeing him again, or was it worth it because it works for the plot of this movie?
That first one, Diggins, but so
there's that.
It wasn't important to the plot of Endgame that Captain America picks up Thor's hammer, but still really, really cool.
Oh my god, it's so important to the plot, but it would be important to the plot. Well, because it's it's the end game of his character, it's his progression.
It's not important to the plot though.
Well, nothing's
the plot forward anyway.
It would be important to the. It's the opposite. What you're saying is if he would be if the Han example in Endgame would have been if Yondu just showed up because he was there, And he's like, I know I was dead, but I actually wasn't dead. Time for me to be here with the friends. But then, during the big fight, you never saw him. Because I do feel like Han, while important in this movie because we are told he is, doesn't really do anything. Like, it's not his movie. We're not fighting his villain or something. He just is there at the very end. Like, not the very end, but like he shows up and hugs everybody. And then he does a little bit of fighting with the team in the like car. But because these movies don't write characters, it could have been anyone. And then the movie ends. Like
he shows up to have the human MacGuffin of being like, my baby child is the key to unlocking Ares. But also, usually this works when it's a character we've known and been protecting the whole time, and then it's kind of a twist, and we're like, oh damn, that's what it's really been her the whole time. Oh, now this baby child we've been protecting, we have even more reason. Or we knew it from the start, and that's why we've been protecting the baby child, but we've also grown to bond with her and become close to her over the course of protecting her. But in this, it's just, here's a baby child. She's important. Let's go to the climax of the movie. Go, go, go.
Yeah, you can write that kid out of the movie, and it's the same shit. It's just a big, sphere that you have to connect both circles. Like, and then they got both of them now, and then they can plug them into their truck, and it spins around and makes satellites evil. Like, you could do that without the kid. It doesn't matter. None of it matters.
Can I make another nitpick about the climax?
Yeah.
So they do this whole two-pronged assault, right? Where Tej and Roman launch into space in a car rocket to destroy the satellite that they're uploading it to, the Ares program, while the rest of the team does like heists the convoy where it is being uploaded, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, we have this whole thing where Tej and Roman are like, the only way we can destroy this satellite is if we ram it, but we'll probably die. And even if we don't, we can't get back to Earth if we use our fuel to do that. And it's this big sacrifice like, oh man, it's about to happen. They need to destroy the satellite, but they have to do the sacrifice to do it. Hey guys, you're in the upload room. Why can't you just like tear it out or something? Why do they need to destroy the satellite? I understand doing the two-pronged assault in case either one failed. That makes sense. But you did it. You succeeded. They don't need to do their part anymore. Why don't you just stop it? Ramsey, you're literally at the console. Just stop the upload. Dom, you don't care if this thing gets broken or not. Just tear it out of the green shit. Like, why do they need to do something? You're in perfect position to do something.
Hey,
It's a great question.
Good. I was going to say good point.
Great point. I have a question about the two-pronged attack.
Yeah, Nando.
So, okay. Tyrese and Ludacris go up into the Minion suits. Fuck this movie. And they put on the little Minion suits in their little car. And they get in the plane. There's a plane that they're attached to that takes them into, like, kind of orbit area. And then they're detached from the plane. They get booster rockets. They fly. They detach. The boosters detach. And then they just have the rocket that's on the car and some other, little jet boosters or whatever. And it's their job to use the magnet system within their car to fuck up the satellite. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So that the magnet fails, and they're like, oh no, we have to sacrifice ourselves by driving into the satellite, and we will die in that because of that. Because if we don't do that, then the satellites are all going to be bad. But we have to use our bodies and use our car and drive it right into the satellite. The satellite explodes, which will kill us, and we will sacrifice ourselves. How the fuck were you guys going to get back to Earth in the first place?
I guess they had enough fuel to do
They were in a fucking car! Like, to do what? To fly back to the fucking Cape Canaveral? They were this was a sacrifice mission the whole way!
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you can just like fly to space. Also, another nitpick, by the way. There is so much like shit in space.
Oh my god!
Like, it's not as clean as like that movie makes you think it is. Like, there's so much garbage up there that just like, whatever, no worries.
No, yeah, they were just gonna be like, all right, we used our magnets, we've destroyed this satellite, and just turn the car around and drive back towards Earth until we hit something. Also,
maybe the plan was always to go to the space station, and they just didn't have the fuel to make it to the space station. Except then they did. because
They did.
fuck it.
Also, the space. So, like, I mean, I love that. Like, I feel like out of all of the odds of everything in this movie, the odds that they would accidentally kind of already be within a couple of feet of a manned space station.
Right.
That's an insane thing. There's one of those at any one time in the whole world. And they're there. And it's like, oh, good. Coincidence that we're in our little plastic suits.
It's pretty incredible.
Amazing. Hey, we haven't talked about this yet. Remember the part where Dom is fucking killed? That was cool.
Oh my god!
You're gonna have to be more
let's
specific.
talk about that.
Okay.
I know what he's talking about. I know.
No, yeah. So Dom. So for people that don't know, so they capture Jacob because this is 2010. He is a supervillain that actually wanted to be caught, and then his dudes come in and they're like, "You guys thought Mr. Nobody didn't tell me about the sweet, weird little, I don't even know what this is, like concrete circle based or whatever."
It's the thing from the Snyder Cut. It's the base from the Snyder Cut where they fight. What's his name? Steppenwolf.
Yeah, Ares. No, Steppenwolf. You're right. They go and the guys come and they're like,
if Ares had been in that movie, it would have been over in 5 seconds flat. We already saw Ares just clowns on Darkseid.
That's
Jack David Thewlis.
Oh, Yoke David Thewlis. Yeah.
Yoke David Thewlis.
So they free what's his name? They free Jacob. The bad guys come. Little and we can call him a lot of things. He's got a lot of names. We can call him Little Dictator Kid. We can call him Yoda, but fuck that. That line is the worst. But
is he like
that sucks so bad.
What the fuck was that?
Awful. I did like it when he said it, like, so in that scene real quick, there's a bit where he's like, I want to get me I forget what it was. The line's like, give me tanks, give me planes, give me a fucking X-Wing. I don't care. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. And then he's like, give me a Millennium Falcon, get me Chewbacca. And I'm like, all right, we're overdoing it a little bit here, movie. And then he goes to Charlize Theron and he's like, I'm Luke Skywalker. And then it just keeps going. It never ends.
I really think Disney might have done some because the U.S. Army didn't seem to pay money for this movie because there was no pro-military propaganda. Maybe they got that money from Disney for some pro-Star Wars propaganda.
Maybe. Do you think they just tried to figure out what the coolest thing they could use a puppet with was? They could have written that with I don't know.
Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, exactly. That's another Disney one though.
That wouldn't work.
Who does it? Who is it owned with puppets?
I'm not Gonzo. I am Kermit.
Oh man,
Perfect movie. No notes. It's
so
great.
those guys show up and then they do a fight. Also, little David Bowie is like, "Oh, just leave them. It's fine. We'll make a deal." And then, they don't completely do that, but for a second, I'm like, "Why are you leaving these guys?" Everybody escapes. They do karate. They use the magnets, which I don't even want to talk about the magnets. Because the magnets don't make any sense.
There's nothing to talk about with
It's not worth it. Yeah.
It's not.
But the magnets only attract what is convenient for the plot.
Yeah, they have a cone of effects, and it's whatever's in front of the magnets. It's a hose, and it's just shooting magnet power out. But if you're to the side of the magnets, it's fine.
I can't believe there wasn't a Tyrese line what is this Magneto shit? How is that not a line in the movie?
Also, if you just place your arms over your laptops, not only will they not be scrambled, they won't even fly to the magnet. It's totally fine.
But anyway, they do magnet stuff and then beat up the bad guys. Everybody escapes, but Dom doesn't. And then there's a moment where it's Letty and Dom are both the last two, and there's so many guys, and he closes her in the escaping area, and he's like, "Oh, I'll kill all the guys myself."
For no reason. He really didn't need to do this.
No, not at all. And also, this is we've said before that some of these things feel like they're written by Vin Diesel to show us how cool Vin Diesel is. Never before in the history of movies has a thing been written. Remember the bit where 20 of the guys face off against one Vin Diesel in a rugby skirmish kind of thing, and the one Vin Diesel is able to hold them all back?
Right?
Just make them superheroes movie. It's fine. Tyrese knows. Have him tell the rest of them.
Unless that becomes the twist somehow, but I don't think they'll do that.
You don't think they're going to do a Saints Row, what was that, 4?
Yeah. Oh, love those.
That would be sick. I don't think they have the balls to do it. The
This is a
farthest
very-
they'll go is probably the rumors that the Jurassic Park crossover is probably as far.
It's a very Saints Row-ish franchise when you get down to it. Like,
Yeah.
by 3, they were spies. And then by 4, it was President and aliens and all kinds of shit. And it was awesome.
That
But-
would be great if the president befriended them.
Tyrese
I
with a
would love that
dildo
so
bat
much.
just beating up fucking guys. Dubstep gun, all this bullshit. So then, Dom dies. He totally dies because
Oh yeah, he's fucking dead.
with the strength of 1,000 men, he picks up chains, just big giant chains within the area, and pulls them down, collapsing the entire structure and stuff.
And it's weird because, like, his motivation for this is, so there's, like, a door, like, basically like a submarine door, that he closes and locks. Now, Letty can't get to him from that side of the door. But, like, she stays there and, like, watches Dom, like, you know, fucking do this. And so one of the goons is going to get to Letty because she hasn't run. So that's what spurs him to just, like literally bring the house down. And die. Yeah, basically dies.
Yeah. But then he doesn't die.
It is totally pointless both in the plot of the movie and also in like, I mean, it's totally pointless both in the plot of the movie and in terms of like what is happening on screen. Like, he doesn't need to sacrifice himself for them. If they just kept running, they'd probably lose those guys pretty fast because they would have to go through this arduous steel submarine door.
But Diggins, it's not worth it if it's not with you.
So, again,
Tell me that didn't get you guys.
nah, it sucked.
It didn't.
Because his whole
You
thing
guys are
was
heartless
like,
monsters. You're
Well,
heartless
his-
monsters.
his whole thing was like, I don't want to die because I have a kid now. And I feel like maybe if she sacrificed herself, I'd feel a little bit more like in that moment. But I'm like, man, he was right all along. Man, he's about to die in these movies, and he was the one who was like, I don't want to go do it. And she was like, no, you should, because it's cool. And, yeah, I feel like he can't sacrifice himself.
It's not worth it if I don't have you. I like teared up when Letty said that to him.
Is that because it's not her kid? It's not worth it if you're not there, because then I'll just leave the kid at home. Forget about him. I keep forgetting he's real anyway.
I thought it was a cute line. I really do. I thought it was a cute line Letty said.
I think it's a cute line in my brain if his whole thing is like, we're going to die if we go do these stupid things.
It's a cute line if it's said between two characters whose relationships I care about even a little.
Ugh. You guys
I
are
wa-
heartless monsters.
I was kind
That's
of
what it
excited
comes
for him
down
to die in that moment, too. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Movie's doing something interesting. And then maybe Jacob's going to take over for him and be the new Dom, but no.
Right,
no,
because
Dana,
because this is right after we reveal that Dom has in fact been a controlling monster his whole life.
Oh, yeah, can we
gigantic
explain
asshole.
that? Let's
Yeah, we probably should.
Let's spend like 10 minutes just not even like critiquing or whatever, just kind of explaining the backstory of this movie. DJ, do you
Yeah.
want to talk about like all the
Let's
flashback
just-
bullshit?
Yeah, so the summation of it basically is that when Dom and Jacob were kids, they like helped their dad as part of the pit crew with his like little like racing, right?
Like budget NASCAR.
Yeah, basically. This is like pretty common. Like those places are everywhere, or at least they were in fucking America. Anyway, so their dad dies, and do we know if there was any retconning here? Because doesn't Dom explain how his dad dies in the first movie? I was trying to figure out if it comports with what happened here.
I mean, he definitely didn't say all the
I-
stuff he just said. Like that we're about
I'm pretty
to learn.
sure. Yeah, it's all completely like none of this tracks with anything we've heard before. We didn't hear a lot, but what we did hear is absolutely not this.
I guess I some kid ran my dad off the road.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you saw this, but do you know who was in the pit crew of one of these groups?
No.
It wasn't the good guy. It was the bad guy's pit crew.
Okay.
I swear to God, it was a cameo. So,
Okay.
yeah, Bill Simmons is in this movie.
No.
Oh wow,
no way.
really?
Yeah.
That can't be. That can't
I
be.
mean, it's on IMDb. I didn't see it. Like, I was looking for him, too, because I knew he was supposed to be in it.
That's
but,
crazy. That's
yeah.
fucking crazy.
right?
Bill Simmons is in this. That's insane.
Also, Bad Bunny is in this movie. Where is he in this?
Wait, what?
His character is Lookout. Who is Lookout in this movie?
Lookout.
There could be so many Lookouts.
The flashback race?
Oh, probably. Because there were those two guys that were like,
yeah.
I bet that was
he
him.
One of them? Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
So in this crash, by the way, another one of my famous nitpicks. Clearly, the problem that Dom's dad had is instead of taking one of the densest cars in the world that Dom has had access to throughout his life, he instead takes one of the lightest cars in the world. So light that when another car lightly taps the back of it, it flies into the air and hangs there for several seconds.
That's how you know he was taking a dive. Any adult car, like a Toretto car, would have become dense at the moment it needed to be.
And they do explain this later, more or less, so this isn't a real nitpick. But then, while it is flipping through midair after being lightly tapped, it then explodes for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, basically what comes to light is that, yes, as Nando said, their dad was throwing the race because he owed money. He'd been gambling on the ponies.
No.
Just
DJ, no, you're getting the order all wrong. We don't learn that until later.
No, I'm just saying everything that we learned that happened. Like,
right.
Does it matter what order we learned it in?
It's very important the order we learned it in because it highlights what a gigantic asshole Dom is.
All right, could you explain then? Because I only remember what we learned at the end. I don't remember what we learned when.
So yeah, their dad dies in this explosion. A car just randomly explodes, and everyone accepts. Well, that's just an accident that happened somehow.
Yeah. We get the best acting from a Toretto ever by the.
That's true.
Look up this actor who plays young Dom. But yeah, he's like crying. He's like fighting to race out to this. No, Dad! It was incredible. It really was.
What the fuck? Aren't there guys who have fire extinguishers? Where were they?
I don't know, man. Diggins said it. We're in budget NASCAR, man. I don't think
it's budget NASCAR, but if I could rip one off the wall of the, office near the NASCAR, just is protocol in a car race at budget NASCAR? If the car is on fire, I guess he dies.
Yep.
I guess it is. It shouldn't be, but it is.
Later, their dad's buddy is saying oh, we gotta go sign some release forms. Are those the forms that say you're not gonna sue him for his horrible death? Those forms?
Yeah.
Maybe don't sign those ones, actually.
Good point.
Anyway. Then, while they're still mourning and, collecting the scraps of the car or whatever, the dude who lightly tapped him that sent him flying and exploding is there, being an aggressive asshole for absolutely no reason whatsoever. This scene is comically arranged to make Dom not the bad guy. It's kind of insane.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a retcon I really hate. Basically, the dude is a comical asshole and then actually shoves and punches Dom in the face, again for no reason. And then Dom loses it and beats him half to death with a wrench, and that's why he goes to jail. A thing we knew about before, but now it's been retconned so that Dom isn't a bad guy with anger management issues who has a sketchy past that he's overcome. He's just always been a great guy who never did anything wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate
Toretto. No, yeah.
I hate that, but that's not my main nitpick here.
Okay.
Then, while he's in jail, he meets Leo and Santos, who say, while he's working on a completely different car that is in no way related to the car his dad was driving, they say, yeah, it's got this problem with it. Sometimes people do that, and it makes cars explode if they, get into an accident. And Dom, based on this single sentence two strangers have said to him, has decided that it can only mean that his brother murdered their father for no reason.
But he was right.
He was right.
No, he wasn't right.
Well, he was.
He was kind of right.
He was right about that's why the car exploded. He's not right that his brother murdered their father for absolutely
that part
no
he's
reason.
not right about.
Okay. Fair.
But then, when he gets out of jail, the first thing he does is he goes to a street race and, without talking about this to his brother at all, doesn't say a word about any of it. Other than, I think I know what you did, which is like, what? What are you talking about? Is like, I'm going to do a street race, and if I win, you have to leave forever. Abandon all of your support systems, your family, your entire life, and go. Because I decided you murdered our father, and I refuse to talk about it. And so, like, that's what happened to Jacob. That's why he's never been talked about before. Because Dom decided, based on nothing, that his brother was a remorseless murderer of their own father for no reason. It's insane. It's unbelievably insane. This is psychopathic behavior. I could not sympathize with Dom at all after he did that.
So you're positing that Dom's a bad person.
He's an awful person.
He's a controlling monster. And this is true throughout the entire franchise. He won't do anything that he doesn't control.
Yeah.
But family.
But then,
But only if he's allowed to be the patriarch. That's the only family that counts, the one that he controls.
Yeah, but he adopts a lot of people into that family. You got your Ramses and your Tyreses, and
because they submit to him.
Yeah, he is the Dom of the family. You have to submit
like,
to the Dom.
It's like dictating.
It's in his name, even.
How did we not see this coming?
You're painting a picture of this monster, Diggins. This is not the Dominic Toretto I know.
It might not be, but it was the whole time. You didn't realize because the movie didn't tell you, but now it does, so pretend it was the whole time, you know?
Right.
That's how Fast and Furious movies work.
Then later, Dom is continuing to be, like, this is after Jacob has become a superstar guy who wants to take over the world, which still doesn't make any fucking sense from where they leave things off. Like, Jacob driving away after his brother forces him to leave based on nothing is the last we see of him as a child. And then he's a super spy. And you're like, how did this happen? Don't worry about it.
We'll learn in the next movies.
Yeah, we'll get a movie where it turned out that Cypher and him have been friends forever or something. Him and Giselle dated, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, then after Jacob steals Ellie, the baby child, who is the secret code to ruling the world, literally seconds after we learn that information, and therefore it has no time to impact us at all, Dom says something really asshole about their dad. And Jacob finally breaks, and he's like, okay, here's what you could have learned if you maybe talked to me for a single fucking second about any of this. I made the thing in the engine that ultimately caused it to explode, but that's because Dad asked me to do it because he was trying to throw the race. I'm not a remorseless murderer for no reason. How could you think that of your own brother, you asshole?
Then, do you remember what Dom says to him? Or what, like, his reaction is? It's not like, no. Oh man, that sucks. I didn't realize that. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, he never says sorry in the entire movie. He doesn't apologize for any of it. Even after he realizes he was wrong, he won't apologize.
Even after he has his flashback to heaven, where he goes to heaven and watches that part of the movie where his dad's like, I'm poor, all right? Listen, it's okay. One of the brothers is going to betray me.
I really got to question the plan, though, from, like, their dad must not have been very smart, because, like, you can just do the race bad. You don't have to fuck up your engine. You have control over how good you do the race.
Well, I guess if he died, then the debtors couldn't come after him, right?
No, but that wasn't the plan.
Was that his plan? Yeah, I don't think his plan was to die. I thought it was just to throw the race.
I thought he was throwing the race and, like, he would, like, crash but not explode. I thought that was it.
Yeah, I misunderstood them.
But yeah.
I mean, it's not very clear, so I don't blame you.
Well, Dom learns this information from Jacob, and Jacob's like, yeah, our dad made me do this. And instead of having any, like, it's almost like you can tell Dom's an asshole because he kind of doubles down here. And he's like, first of all, you don't kill your daddy and you don't throw a race. And second, you come to me with those problems. Like, I don't fucking know, dude. It was a long time ago. It's very confusing. I was much smaller than you at the time. Our dad told me to do it. What do you want me to do? Why am I the bad guy now?
Our dad
why are you still
told
yelling
me to
at
do it, and also explicitly told me not to tell you. A
Yeah.
promise which I have kept far beyond the point of reason because I've tried to be a good son.
Yeah, there's this word. It starts with an F. It's on the tip of my tongue. Father, family. It's something about those things. Together makes this a bond that I have to carry to the grave. Like, it's just something that I have to do. Like, why the fuck is Dom not accepting family as an excuse for this? He's the worst guy.
I mean, he eventually does. He's like, oh, okay.
Like, does he though?
There. Well, by the end of the movie, when they drive by each other and have the look.
Yeah, that's as close as we get to any of that. He's like, I guess I will kill you now. That's it.
Yeah, he lets Jacob go after Jacob helps them. I guess he does save Jacob's life when he's being betrayed, which is like the one moment of like, maybe I'm wrong. But again, he refuses to apologize. He doesn't say sorry. He doesn't acknowledge that he was wrong.
Or even
He's
just be like, hey,
sorry, what were you going to say then?
I was going to say, there's no like, hey, it sucks that dad put you in that position. None of that. None of like, hey, I still don't like that you lied to me, but I get why it was difficult for you. Nothing.
Yeah, it's just like, he's like, at the end, he's like, well, I guess I won't literally kill you. And that's what serves as an apology to Dom.
By the way, good thing that Jacob is a Toretto because he was saved by the soft cushioniness of the steel car that Dom saves him with.
That's true.
If he wasn't a Toretto, he'd be dead. Or The Rock.
Or The Rock, yeah.
Or Letty. They're all just.
I mean, and Tedra Roman, according to Roman.
Anyone who is extended the aura of invincibility by Dom, like it's actually not. Jacob wasn't actually saved by Dom nudging that car so he would land on it. He was saved by Dom allowing his lordship over cars to extend to Jacob in that moment.
That's exactly it.
Right. I thought it was a Toretto thing, but that makes sense.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like before we wrap this up, but I do think my other big question in the movie. Okay. So, we've already kind of explained what Jacob's deal is, kind of, a little bit. Like, we understand what his past, but let's talk about his present. So, he is working for little David Bowie as some sort of, like, a spy, whatever the fuck that means. And he's trying to connect these two pieces of the globe. They have Cypher in a little Magneto prison surrounded by lasers. And she is there just to do, like, hacking, I guess. I don't know. And that's fine for the movie. Like, it's stupid for us, but, like, the movie kind of treats that as, like, that's the plan. And then we get to the end of the movie. They start doing this, like, convoy heist thing. And Jacob goes to fix something on the top of the truck. And then a big giant man that has been around the whole time gets on the top of the truck with him. And little David Bowie says, I have a new person that's working with me. It's Cypher, and she told me to kill you. A, why? B, like, why do we have to kill him now? B, what stopped her from hiring you before? And C, what does this guy want? The little David Bowie guy. Like, Cypher seems like she could have just been at any point like, hey, by the way, I'll give you $1 billion if you let me go. I've got it. And he would have been like, oh, okay. And then Jacob also seems like he would have been like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. Let her do it. Somebody's going to turn this fucking thing on. I don't care who. Jacob doesn't have any allegiance to any of these characters. And then also, like, what is the goal now? What does the little, like, dictator kid want with Cypher now being his benefactor? He had the whole thing. Nothing was stopping him. Cypher adds nothing to the equation. He could have asked Cypher for money if he turned the machine on.
She's like the best hacker or whatever. I don't know.
Hack to what? Nothing needs to be hacked. He has the thing.
Well, you never know what you might need to hack.
The thing is supposed to do the hacking. That's why they have it. That's what the Circle does. It hacks really good from satellites. Why is the movie now double-crossing our characters.
Hey, Nando. Great point.
It's a great point, obviously.
It's a great point. It's all
but
great
it's
points.
just like this movie, at the end of this movie, and this is partially kind of why I think I checked out a little bit, is because it makes this move, and I'm like, kind of with what's going on. I'm willing to give it, like, yeah, it's a doomsday weapon, they can't activate it. But when that happens, I really feel like I just kind of lost the thread of, like, why is this bad for any of the characters? Why does this make the situation worse? How have the stakes been raised besides just now we have a reason for Jacob to be good now? And I don't think there is one. But also, I just don't understand. Why did they even have Cypher? So she could hack and find the Edinburgh thing? That was her whole reason she was part of their thing?
Yeah, the only thing they have her do in the whole movie is, find out that the other half is in Edinburgh. Yeah. That's all she does.
Sometimes it's all you need.
Also, when they steal her, the first time, like originally, after movie 8 ends, they get her from Mr. Nobody, right?
Yeah.
Is Mr. Nobody transporting her and the half circle?
I guess maybe she had found it, and so he had it because she found it.
That's fucked. Come on, Mr. Nobody. Just asking to fail at this point. Again, because he's the bad guy. So clear.
Yeah, because he's the secret villain.
Yeah.
I told you, I mean, we've been pushing this theory. I told you in 7, I was expecting an actual twist of he's the real villain and they team up with Shaw the first time I watched it. It really seemed like that's where the movie was going.
It's the only logical endpoint because it's so convoluted that I think all this bullshit with Han and everything else, all the secrets he's keeping from everyone, only makes sense if he's trying to create some new world order behind everyone's back. The worst part of that will be Cypher will be a good guy then, you know? She'll have to join the family to fight Mr. Nobody. Yeah.
You see, Dom, there was no choice this whole time.
Yeah.
Remember that was part of her character?
I do remember that.
The whole choice conundrum.
Puppet. Yoda, puppet. Also, I don't know how Yoda worked as a puppet, but I don't think it was hand-up butt puppet. Probably not, right? It's different kinds of puppets, Cypher. What else happens in this movie? I don't know.
I got. What was the deal with Cardi B's character?
She's Cardi B, you know, from music.
But, like, how did...
That's kind of it.
How did Dom know her character?
I don't know.
Like, do you guys have any... All right.
They talk about it in that scene, but Vin Diesel is very difficult to understand the specific words he says.
Yeah.
So I'm really not sure what he said.
Some woman named... I was like, was there a woman named Carla? No, that's Cardi B. And I was like, I was confusing myself while watching it. And then I was like, this is fine. This is just her in the Uber Eats commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, eat local.
I have a question about Cardi B.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys seen Cardi B in real life?
In real life, no.
Not like in real life, but like outside of this one scene in this movie. But like, have you ever seen her in a movie, a music video? She's got a pretty specific body type, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You'd spot that fucking SWAT team member from a mile away. How did that guy get on with that huge butt and all them boobs? I think, in fact, now that I look at it, all of the guys look like that. Oh, this is not a SWAT team. Something's up with these guys.
Nando, that is sexist. Why could you not have an all-female SWAT team?
You could totally have an all-female SWAT team. I just think it would raise some alarm bells. I don't think them taking off their helmets would reveal anything. I feel like everybody would know who those guys are.
They were Interpol agents, not a SWAT team.
Okay, that's right. They were Interpol.
The Fast and Furious franchise is far from the only media that does this, but Interpol is like an organization for letting police departments in different countries talk to each other. They aren't actually cops.
They're cops. They have badges to say Interpol.
It's Interpol. What do you think the pol stands for, Diggins?
It does stand for police, but they're just, again, they just help cops in other countries talk to each other. That's it.
That, Diggins, you're so wrong. I can't even start with how wrong. Next, you're gonna tell me that the ISS or whatever just deals with, or the DSS just works with passports and stuff. You crazy? What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
every agency
weird.
is a spy agency, and everyone has cops, and everyone has little white jumpsuits where they just pop out of.
Oh, also speaking of like stuff that happens at that bit in the movie. Diggins, we answered your question from last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. Mama Shaw is in jail because she did some crime or something. right? She's just pinching jewels left and right or something. That's her that's her grift.
I
Or
guess.
wait,
but
no,
also,
does she go
but
to
also-
Jewel?
Wait, but Dom says, "Oh, you've been in jail." But then in the timeline, Hobbs and Shaw is after this
Yeah.
movie, so that's not what he's talking about.
I guess she's just in and
What?
out of jail all the time.
I guess so.
They got to figure this out. They need a master kind of book with all the information in it, like a show Bible for the Fast and Furious movies that explains what happens in them, so that whenever something's referenced, it doesn't immediately have to be retconned in the next one because it can't have happened that way. Actually,
Well,
Oh,
it doesn't
man.
matter if it. They're gonna retcon everything every movie anyway, because that's the only way they know how to write plot.
That's
it's
true.
We're gonna be retcons till the end of time.
Maybe that necklace she stole will also be a doomsday device or something, and that's why she was stealing it, and that's why she did all the stuff. I like her in this movie. You know what else? I like that scene where she was driving around. The music in it was fun. It almost felt like it was from a different movie, a better movie, but kind of
Well, you
prefer
know,
that one.
Helen Mirren's only in these movies because she likes them and asks to be in them.
Is that true?
I have heard that. Yeah,
That's awesome.
she's pretty cool. I mean, I like her in that movie Red too. I like movies like this where it's funny that Helen Mirren is like a cool action star. She's got a fun vibe.
I like that. I like that he shows up and she says, "Dominic Toretto." I love the really stupid Cockney accent she does.
I like that she's like, "Will you drive?" And he's like, I don't break the law anymore." And she's like, "Okay, just be an accomplice then. Get in the car. If we get arrested, they'll let you go."
She's like, "All right, that's a fucking lie, because he do crimes all the time, but
Yeah.
whatever."
I think she's great. Best part of this movie, maybe. What was your favorite part of the movie? The trailer?
I told you.
The trailer was pretty good.
When Tej's necklace goes on the magnet.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's
Tyrese
true.
points out that silver's not magnetic.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part was.
How about
I
that?
actually thought I don't know about favorite part, but fight scene I really enjoyed was the like right before they meet Han bit. Like I don't know. I thought the Mia Letty fight scene was pretty good.
I really want to hit somebody in the head with a pan and see how long it takes them to go like this, and then get better.
Right?
Because I feel like it's one pan shot to the head and you're done. But maybe not.
Well, not if you're like a goon class mook.
Yeah.
You gotta have a real thick skull to hit goon class.
That was so funny. Remember that bit where they're like, the thing that Han always used to say, something, something Mexico. And then it's like,
that probably was
I
more
feel
of a
like-
retcon
It's like,
than bringing him back
oh
to
man,
life.
this random house in an alley in Tokyo that we went to for no reason connected to Han whatsoever has a Mexican flag hanging in the window, which means it must be where Han is secretly hiding out instead of being dead. And incredibly, they are correct.
yeah. Yeah. Also, is Han supposed to work with them?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Was this all part of Mr. Nobody's plan?
Oh, I can't imagine.
So, I guess my question is, Mr. Nobody
His
sends them a
evil
message.
plan?
Yeah, his evil plan. But Mr. Nobody sends the Fast Team a message. Why doesn't he also send a message to Han? It's like, hey, shit's going down. You might want to check up with your friends, because I called them to help. And if they're going to spend a lot of energy looking for you, so you find them. Maybe he did, I guess.
Well, he does. He gets accosted in the middle of sending that message, so maybe he only had time for the one.
That's true. That's probably it. Oh, my God. Yeah, I don't know, man.
So where do we go from here in terms of next Fast movies? I know there was the Jurassic Park rumor.
Yeah, I don't know.
Time travel.
Minions.
Time travel Minions, all the Universal stuff.
Time traveling
Universe.
minions.
Dark Universe, yes. Erase Frankenstein and stuff. Yes. Yes.
Yes, do that one Scooby-Doo movie where Shaggy turns into a werewolf and has to race all the Halloween monsters.
Wait, what if they're vampires? What if that's why they survive so long? Why they can't be shot, That'd be fun.
But then why can they
fight
be out in the
Blade.
sun?
The Daywalkers.
They're Twilight vampires.
Yeah,
They just
it's-
sparkle in the sun.
And that's
They'll
why they
retcon that.
glisten with every scene.
Yeah,
with
baby
the
oil.
sheen of shiny sweat.
Yeah. They're a new kind of vampire that works with Nos, and Nos plus vampirism gives you the ability to go out in the sun. I don't know, where do they go from here? I do think Cypher has to join the family. I don't know, do people like Cypher? Obviously I hate her, but I don't know, are people cool? She's cool.
I think that, and again, it's just like speaking with people, so it's like it's not very scientific, but I have not talked to a person who's like, yeah, I love that Cypher character, she's great. I've just not run into that. Speaking about the Fast Saga,
Fast
generally,
Saga.
even amongst fans, 8 is considered a weak entry, right?
I
think so,
I guess.
It's the not Justin Lin one. I think that was like a huge problem because he just knows how to make these work.
Well, do you think that they can do the Shaw?
I
Shaw
think he
thing?
does. What was that, Nando?
Do you think they can pick up on this weird Shaw punching bag storyline? Is that what we'll get?
I think that's the plan. Yeah, right. Well, like him and Han.
It'd be really funny if in the middle of the next, like the next movie picks up no addressing it at all, and then halfway through someone's like, "Hey Han, didn't you go talk to Shaw?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, we had like a nice civil conversation. It was fine."
Well, one of the was there one of the MCU movies where like the teaser or like the stinger scene was just a scene in like the middle of the movie, like the Civil War scene with
that's in Civil War. Yeah,
but that was just the stinger at the end of a different movie.
Maybe that's right. Maybe
totally unrelated.
I think Han could turn evil. He's the favorite character of the franchise, though, so he can't. Oh my God, guys! You know who we haven't talked about at all?
Yeah.
Fucking Snap, Crackle, and Pop, the 3 Tokyo Drift friends.
Oh,
who are in this movie?
Because that's how memorable they are.
Yeah, they are weird.
If you hadn't seen Tokyo Drift, what are you thinking?
I'd assume those are producer sons or something. There's no way they're actors. Like, it doesn't make sense. Or maybe they actually invented car. Like, maybe they're like real like Elon Musk type celebrities that people want to see in these. That's all I would say. That's the only explanation I would understand.
How long before Elon Musk shows up in one of these?
Oh no. Oh no, he's gonna make a fancy electric something and be like, this is an idea I had where we could take some batteries and then put them in here and then you guys would be able to teleport.
Yes, I've crashed all the cryptocurrency in the world. Isn't this pretty cool?
Dogecoin is the new way to go.
Yeah. Ha ha ha. Elon Musk. He could be a member of the pit crew, maybe. Maybe he actually killed the dad or something. Who has a hair of backstory that has not yet been filled in yet? Who can we pick?
Letty?
Yeah, Letty's dad is actually Elon Musk or something. We haven't learned anything about fucking Letty. We know it's so crazy how little we know about any of these characters.
She does motorcycle. That's her like most defined character trait.
Like kind of. Yeah, she does it in this one, and I'm like, has she ever done that before?
It's her specialty in it's not 8 where she's riding out of it. I think 6 or 7 she does a lot of motorcycle.
I don't think so. I want to say in 6 Giselle is motorcycle.
Oh, right.
I feel like she's usually car. Like her and Dom are both car.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking of Giselle for motorcycle. My bad.
Like I'm sure she could drive one, but I feel like we don't know where she's from, who her dad is.
In 8 in Cuba, she's motorcycling when she's
helping
with
true.
the race. She's doing motorcycle.
But so is Dom's little baby cousin.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I'm like, I knew there was a time where like Letty has done motorcycle. It was then.
Maybe she still has that license. Maybe your motorcycle license and your driver's license are different. Get one suspended, you don't lose the other. I don't know how that works.
So time travel. That's where we're going from here.
I don't know. I guess. You know what was weird to me? So I knew there was a post-credit scene, right? I kind of assumed the post-credit scene, we would meet the kid's dad, right? Like Christoph Waltz or whatever. The new bad guy.
Oh, right.
Right? Like, we kept talking about him, like, oh, he's not as bad as my dad is. And you're like...
That would be the trend, is to go with the family member. It was a fun line when he's like, John Cena's like, after this, you'll be giving him allowance. And the kid was, that would be nice.
Yes.
I'm like, that was a fun.
I think I'd like to see... I don't know, where do you go with this? Because they say they want to make 2 more.
Yep.
The kid will be too young to be a main character unless they do a huge
11?
time jump.
You could do a time jump, right?
Oh my god, it'd be so funny. Just putting Vin Diesel in old man makeup the whole movie. That'd be amazing.
Well, they haven't even begun production on 10, right? So we're a ways away, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think Cypher has to be... I mean, she survives inexplicably because she is not in the thing that it seems like she was in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually going to disagree with you, Nando. I think it would have been terrible if she died in this movie.
I mean, I'm happy with her dying in any movie.
Is this a Diggins
I
bit?
mean, okay. Here's what I'll say. I mean, she's not a great character, so I'd be okay with her dying in this movie in the sense of I don't really feel like I need to see more of her.
Yeah.
However, I think narratively, if she had died at that point, it would have felt utterly pointless because she didn't do anything in this movie. She wasn't the villain. Why is she dying? She had nothing to do with anything that happened.
That's a good point.
All right, fair.
I mean, who could even challenge these guys anymore? Besides Mr. Nobody. Who else is bad?
President. Not that he could be a bad guy.
Yeah, but it's like they've been outlaws before. So even if the president...
guys,
Yeah.
I've got it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because they never did this concept well, they can bring it up again. Only this time, it's that Cypher gets all the components to tear a hole between dimensions and get the alternate universe Toretto crew who never went straight.
Oh.
And have the evil family working for her.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be fun.
Or clones. Could she have been like cloning them or something? Like, I've gotten each of a piece of your DNA, and I'm a master
Clones,
cloner.
DJ, that's ridiculous. Obviously, the alternate universe dimension hopping evil crew makes way more sense.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. I'm sorry. It's silly of me to suggest anything otherwise. Apologies.
Yeah, I honestly, like, they've done so many things, and yet nothing. Like, so little has actually happened in these movies that's changed the status quo besides they've all had babies, that, like, I can't think of an interesting way to move forward with, like, now they've pissed off this guy, so he's the bad guy now, or... I don't know. I mean, we have many super weapons.
The thing we're messing up here, though, is we're not thinking of how can, instead of moving forward, we retcon something in the past to have always been true, and that's how we do a new plot point.
I mean, we don't know much about Ramsey. Maybe she's up to something, you know?
Oh, secret villain the whole time.
Yeah.
She's tired of being shown up by Cypher. It doesn't make sense that she's still hanging around them. She's no reason to.
Yeah, it feels like she just has nothing else going on.
Yeah.
Right? No plans, no nothing.
And she also has
guess I'll
not
help
learned to
you guys.
drive yet, which is fine, but also a little weird. She's smart enough. She can pick it up.
Actually, it makes perfect sense that she hasn't picked up driving. If she spends all her time around these, like, hyper car masters, why would she ever need to drive? They're just going to do it all the time.
It's a good point.
It's not like they're hacking, right? Although all of their skill sets seem to overlap, right? Like Ludacris now does karate. I know that's been true since 7, but still, it just blows my mind. That's the direction they went in.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know. I really can't even guess. I think the kids will get stolen or something. They already did that though.
I know. It's hard. They've done everything. It's interesting to see where they'll go, but
Guys, 9 just might be too many movies in a franchise. It might just be too many.
maybe. I don't know. I'm not convinced.
Like, I'd be okay with the Han origin if he wasn't a spy. But I'd be okay with, like, honestly, if we were doing other movies, I'll take a period piece set in the 80s where one of these guys learns to drive. Like, that'd be fun. But that's not what we're going to get. But, like, something like that?
All those kinds of movies.
I mean, John Cena is now in these, so could he, like... I don't fucking know. It can't be... What does James Bond do? How do they keep going?
They get new ones.
I mean, it's more of an anthology thing, right? Like, there haven't been 9 of, like, one thing in James Bond, right? So, unless you turn Fast and Furious into, like, anthology bits, which is weird, because that's how it started. Like, it was all different stuff, like, Too Fast, Too Furious is Miami, Tokyo Drift, blah, 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 blah. But,
You know what? Here's what they can do.
yeah.
Go Mad Max. Next movie, Cypher turns on the machine and destroys the world, and we just live in post-apocalypse. No more fucking, LA barbecue happiness. It's a post-apocalyptic movie now. Because that's a new direction for these, and they would thrive in that environment, because they are gearheads, and, like, that'd be kind of fun, maybe?
I can see that.
I could be down for that.
And maybe they have to go back in time at the end and do an end game, and, like, at the end of the movie, they have to, like, go... kill Cypher in the past. I don't know about that, but
Dom's
definitely
like, we gotta go back.
Yeah. Whatever it takes. Yeah, I don't know. Something like that. I think, because that's what Mission Impossible almost did, was just have the world actually get destroyed. But, like, fuck it. I don't care about the world. This doesn't take place in the real world. Destroy the world.
Get real dark with it.
Yeah. Be kind of cool. Watch them race around.
The real world is going to be destroyed soon anyway, so
yeah,
might as well get ahead of it.
Right? It'd be kind of interesting. You know what would be interesting to do? Watch them do San Andreas, but with these guys. Like a natural disaster machine that makes them race through earthquakes and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. Because do a geostorm, but actually do the geostorms and have them race against them.
It would be nice to have a doomsday device one of these movies that isn't just, it does computers good.
Yeah. Well, like, in Hobbs and Shaw, it's a bioweapon. Otherwise, I would say do that, but who cares? But I think, an earthquake machine would be kind of cool. And then they could race on, like, you know, the boardwalk of something as it explodes and cool stuff. I don't know. But, yeah. So I think let the doomsday device go off in the next one. Let Cypher launch her nuke. Then she'll be interesting, because then she'll have done something. You know? Like, that'd be kind of cool.
And then we get dinosaurs, and then boom, Jurassic Park Fast and Furious. Let's go.
That would be fun. Yeah. You know what? They could do that, too, honestly. They could do, like, even if it's not dinosaurs, some sort of, like, hybrid fucking, like, cheetah that only they can catch. And it's like this evil cheetah's on the loose, and, like, you can't shoot them because they're too good. You have to catch them. And the Fast family needs to do it. That'd be kind of interesting. But yeah, also Mr. Nobody should be the bad guy.
Whatever happens, I'm here for it, and I'm excited.
I'm willing to give it a shot. I hope they don't... The trailers need to relax. I'd love to be surprised by some of this.
I know. But that'll never happen. Like, the solution would be to not watch the trailers, right?
Well,
like, that's
but
the only way.
They could do what Endgame did. They're big enough now, I think, that they could just be like, Fast 10, a new Fast and Furious movie.
Right.
Come watch it. Don't be spoiled. Like, I think that'd be pretty cool. Because I really would have lost my fucking mind if I saw some of that for the first time in the theater. And I think that's the intended effect. So they should try to get that out of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you guys want to get to our classic segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's recommend some things. DJ, what do you got to recommend to the fine people?
Been doing some Netflixing. Still watching the Formula One Drive to Survive. It's really good. It's really, really good.
Did you watch? Sorry. Did you watch the show where they put on the masks and fuck? Is that show out yet?
No, July 21st. I'm very excited for Sex Beasts.
The worst.
I have been watching though season 2 of Too Hot to Handle, which is way better than season 1. I think they learned from a lot of their mistakes from season 1, and they've corrected them in season 2, and I think it's a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah, they dropped the schedule drop was so weird. They dropped the first 4 last Wednesday, and they're dropping the remaining 6 this upcoming Wednesday, the 30th. And I'm like, what? Why?
What's wrong with them?
Netflix has not figured out how to do the like. I don't know if they're trying to copy like Disney and Amazon with the, you know, we'll just do like one a week or whatever to stay in the conversation. But for The Circle, they did like over the course of a month, right? They dropped like 4 a week. But now they're like, all right, we'll drop the first 4 and then the final 6. And yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why Netflix can't figure this out. Like literally everyone else has figured it out. Why can't they? But yeah, it's great. Like if you love garbage reality show television, this is right there. It's my pitch for Too Hot to Handle is watch hot people be dumb, and it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
So the premise is
why would I need to watch a show for that when I can just look in a mirror, DJ?
Hey.
Very good.
The pitch, for those who don't know, is they basically get these sex-crazed people on an island under like false pretense, like you're filming a regular just reality dating show. But the hook is that they're not allowed to like have sex or kiss or touch or jerk off or anything. So there's $100,000 prize pool that gets split among everybody. And anytime someone does a quote unquote sexual act, money is taken from the prize pool. And these fucking dummies cannot help each other. And it's great. It's just phenomenal.
Love it.
So yeah, there's 2 seasons. I thought season 1 was so-so. Because it's reality TV, they don't play on each other. Like you could just watch season 2 and just be good to go. And I think it's much better than season 1. I think they improved a lot of stuff. I think they just got like better people for it. The people didn't pair off so quickly. There's more infighting. I just think there's a lot more meat on the bone for season 2 than season 1. And again, only 4 episodes so far. Like maybe it tanks, but like the Circle season 2, I thought was like a really slow ramp up to get to the good stuff. I think Too Hot to Handle, you're right there from the start. So, yeah, really good, and would absolutely recommend it if you're into any of that reality television. I know Nando tweeted the trailer for Sexy Beast, which I can guarantee you before even watching it, I'm going to recommend. That show looks insane. I think the pitch is like, it's like Love is Blind, but let's put people in Hollywood level SFX makeup and like see where it goes. So yeah, that was pretty good.
I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. All hot people should be banned from having sex in general.
Yes, I agree.
But guys, how would I be able to have sex then? Oh,
you'd be fine, DJ.
Yeah, you'd be all right.
Oh, guys!
You've already had enough sex, DJ. You're good. You got it in under the wire.
Oh, you guys.
Very good stuff. That's what the audience wants to know.
That's
what you know.
To know. So, Too Hot to Handle. That is my recommendation for the week.
Nice. Diggins, what about you?
I saw a different movie in a movie theater this past week, besides F9, that I quite enjoyed and therefore would like to recommend. It's also the second time I have ever been in a movie theater, and me and the people I was with were the only people in the theater.
Nice.
You guys just like take your pants off, just make it your own space?
Yep, that was my first thought. I was just going to remove my pants right in front of my friend I'm seeing this movie with, just going pantsless.
Depends on the movie, but might work.
Anyway, it's a documentary by Edgar Wright of Baby Driver and Shaun of the Dead fame. It's called The Sparks Brothers, and it's about a band called Sparks that has been pretty much continuously making music for the past, 50 years, which is kind of insane when you think about it. They are 2 brothers who've been working together since, they were kids. And it's just kind of charting their career across all the different albums they've made, all the different times they've reinvented themselves, kind of changed up their sound, incorporated things from the zeitgeist, but while still maintaining their own kind of artistic voice. They're a very prolific and influential band. Like a lot of famous musicians and just actors, writers, lots of different people are big fans of Sparks, and Edgar Wright has recruited them to be talking heads for the documentary, talking about what a big influence they've been on their own work and their own careers, which really gives you a sense of scale for how much influence they've had, even though they're not unknown, but they're not mega stars either,
Are there any famous songs they have? Because I remember hearing about this and I was like, I don't know who they are. And
are there famous songs that you would likely have heard, hit? They have had hits.
What's the? Give me a hit.
I would say most of their hits are from the earlier in their most of their mainstream hits are from earlier in their career, in the 70s and 80s. So you probably haven't heard of them. But there's let me look up some of the names here because I think of this.
Were any of them ever in movies or something like that?
This town ain't big enough for the both of us. They are. They and their music have been in a couple movies, a couple really small, kind of shitty movies that come up in the documentary, and it's very funny. There's this one roller coaster disaster movie where the disaster is a roller coaster breaks.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does sound really cool.
And they do a musical number in that movie. They appear in it as a band.
Oh.
But they did
or themselves. It's a cameo, or it's a...
I haven't seen the movie. I don't know. They did This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us is a big song of theirs. Number One in Heaven. Lil Beethoven is a more recent one. When Do I Get to Sing My Way from the 90s. These are some of their bigger songs. I don't know if you've heard of any of them.
No. Although maybe this town one. I'm going to listen to that real quick now. They
made a whole collaboration album with Franz Ferdinand in 2015.
So great. I love Franz Ferdinand.
Anyway, I think it's a little. I don't love like enthusiast documentaries because they tend to just be like a kind of plotless hour and a half of people gushing about how much they like a thing. Mm-hmm. Which is what this movie is, but Edgar Wright's just really good at making him gushing about his favorite band entertaining. So I'm willing to forgive it for that.
Right.
So yeah, it really is just 90 minutes of Edgar Wright putting together a loving tribute to his favorite band and him and other people talking about how great they are. But it is, because Edgar Wright has a very good like visual and editing flair, it's entertaining, it zips along. The music's really good. I actually quite like, they play a lot of it. And it's pretty cool. It has kind of like a Bowie-esque sound to it. That's sort of like synthy, poppy, punky kind of blend that he's known for. And also very similar to him, they reinvent themselves a lot. They keep kind of a basic sound to their work over the years, but they really change it up based on whatever, they want to be doing at any given moment. So yeah, that's the Sparks Brothers is the name of the documentary. It's really fun. I'm not sure it's still in theaters. I think it was a very like limited release, but if it's not, I'm sure you'll be able to find it streaming somewhere soon.
Yeah, I feel like F9 might push it at us like a lot of these screens, but
and again, literally only the second time ever I have been the only group in a theater seeing something, so probably not doing super hot financially.
I've heard a lot about it. It might be because I follow Edgar Wright on Twitter, but I have heard other people been excited about it outside of that sphere. So, yeah, it seems cool. All right. I'll rec a movie too. I don't know if we talked about this last week. Probably not. I watched Luca. How did you guys watch Luca?
I haven't seen it yet.
Wait, DJ, did you say yes or no?
No, I have not seen it. No.
It's good. It's really good. It's the best Pixar movie. I think I might like it a little bit more than Coco. Yeah. Best recent Pixar movie.
Really?
Yeah, I think Coco's great, but I think I like the scale of this a lot more. People have described it as Miyazaki-esque, where it's just like little kid's a magic little kid and he doesn't want to be magic, but he doesn't fit in. He wants to win a little bicycle race. Like it's got a lot of Kiki's delivery service vibes, but
okay.
I thought it was just very charming and fun, and I do like Coco, but I think the thing I like about this is that the plot of it is it's just so simple, but it's so fun. And you know what else I like about this? For people that don't know, like Luca's about a little kid who is a sea monster. They say that a lot because he's Italian. And they live under the ocean in the sea next to this small Italian town that I think it might take place, if not in the present day, close enough to the present day. And what he doesn't know, or like kind of knows, is that if a sea monster goes onto the land, he can just like turn into a little boy, and then goes back into the water, becomes a sea monster again. So he starts exploring the world, and he meets another kid who's like on his own and stuff, and they go into this town and meet a bunch of other kids, and I don't know, it's delightful. Music's great. Art's great. I think it's got a slapstick comedy like vibe that I feel like I haven't seen in a while. I feel like I haven't seen a Pixar movie in a very long time. But and I think like Coco has this, but a lot of it's like, oh, this skeleton gets its head knocked off. But a lot of this is like guy slaps this guy who spits on him, who falls and trips on this. It feels kind of like Paddington almost, like very composed and deliberate. I think like slapstick humor is terrific, and we don't have enough of it these days. And I'm always happy for more. But part of it I think is just what was I saying? The score is great. I think the soundtrack, all that's terrific. Part of it is just like the theme of it is great, but also there's lots of people just singing Italian songs, which is fun. And it's nice, bright, it's short, it's great. So I would definitely recommend that. Great villain, super funny, and just like a villain. This is probably why I liked it a little bit more than Coco. I'm tired of these twist villains. Just like, cool, you didn't know. I like a villain like a Gaston or something who's like, oh, I'm bad, and I want you. You're different, and I don't like you. And like, I love that. So that was a real treat. I would say I finished Sweet Tooth this week. Very fun show on Netflix. They better make another season because it ends on a lot of cliffhangers, and I'm not sure if it's doing super well, but I think, I'm hoping it gets enough of a response that they get a second season. But it can't be as expensive to make as like Jupiter's Legacy, so I have a feeling we'll get a second one out of it. Only other thing for the book club this week, I finished up the first volume and about halfway through the second volume of Midnighter, who is, I think I've talked about this before, crazy gay Batman. He is both, like, I'd say Batman is a way you could kind of describe this character, but he's really not as much Batman as he is kind of like a mix between like Punisher and like Moon Knight, where he is just a straight up, like, he's out of his mind, but he knows it, and everybody's like, you're crazy, stop killing everybody, and he's like, no, I'm crazy, I kill people. But also, he is one of the first out gay superheroes, and there's a little bit more of that in it than I expected, of like less of it being a like, not like there's more of it than like not him just kissing guys, but they explore the relationship between Midnighter and Apollo that I think is kind of interesting, even though that is over when the book starts. So it's pretty cool. It takes place in the DC universe, which I was never quite sure about, because this character was created by a terrific writer named Warren Ellis. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. No, but I mean, it was. But then they brought Midnighter, Apollo, and all those guys into the DC, like mainline DC universe. This is written by Steve Orlando, so it's different. But he interacts with other characters, like he bumps into Nightwing. There's some villains that you see that you're like, oh, I know that guy. And that part of it I also found kind of interesting because it helped, I guess, kind of ground this character who does feel really out there, and everyone treats as very out there. But when he meets Dick Grayson, you're like, oh, I get it. He thinks you're weird, but competent, and everyone's kind of scared of you. So that's why you don't have a lot of friends. But yeah, I think it's a great book. Not just because of pride and stuff, but also because Grant Morrison is writing a new book about Superman that has Apollo in it, who is this guy's ex-boyfriend, who is the Superman figure in that universe. So it's like a good way to get introduced to those characters. I've never done that before. So yeah, those are the big ones. I want to say, I don't know if anything else is coming out. What do you guys want to do next week? Do you want to finally do the one?
What one?
The one we were going to do last week, but then we changed to
Spy
this.
Kids?
Yeah, we could do Spy Kids. We could do, like, something to lead up to Black Widow.
We could do that Mark Wahlberg sci-fi movie, Infinite.
Oh, yeah, the Limitless one, but not that. But it's like that, kind of.
It's called Infinite.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, it's like Limitless mixed with, like, Highlander, right, or something?
I don't know anything about it, except the only three things I know about it are that it's a sci-fi movie, it stars Mark Wahlberg, and it has a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, boy. Perhaps. When does that Tomorrow War movie come out? Is that soon? That looks like fucking
that
dumb
actually
nonsense.
might be next week.
Yeah.
Because it's like 4th of July weekend. Yeah, Chris Pratt, Amazon Prime movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was way off. It's July 21st, so we're a bit away.
God, it's July 2nd.
Really? I just
July 2nd,
found,
yeah.
July 2nd streaming.
No, I was going to say I have
that.
another July 2nd movie, you guys.
What?
Boss Baby back in Family Business, too.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Yeah, we got some trash coming out soon. Not trash. Maybe they'll be great, you guys. Maybe Old will be great. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about, what Old is?
The M. Night Shyamalan.
There's something wrong with this bitch.
I got a trailer for that before F9.
Yo, it's going to be a mess. But yeah, because there's like a little secret note that he gets or something. It looks insane. Yeah, I mean, we could do the Tomorrow War movie. I don't know. Like, does it matter enough to do? I guess is the question. Or like, will this just be a stupid, forgettable movie?
Why don't we put a poll up?
That's a good idea. That is.
We'll do Spy Kids 3D,
idea.
Tomorrow War.
Some sort of Iron Man or like Black Widow lead up thing, maybe.
Sure.
Boss Baby, Space Jam. We could do the first Space Jam movie. There's the one that comes out right after Black Widow.
Yeah.
We could also do a G.I. Joe movie because Snake Eyes comes out after that. We could do Escape Room 1 to get ready for Escape Room 2, Tournament of Champions. There's a lot of weird shit coming out this year.
All right, we'll do a poll.
We could start the Fear Street movies. Those look like fun. You seen that? It's like 3 movies that Netflix is making that are part of the same canon, kind of, and they come out a week apart, and they're all horror movies about a town. So it's like if you made 3 movies, like Halloween 1, 2, and 3, but you released them all within a week of each other. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. But, all right, we'll put out the poll. Anybody got anything to plug?
Just Roses and Rejections, as always, covering The Bachelorette. So
When does Bachelorette end?
Oh, man. Probably not for like a month.
Okay.
Probably like end of July. Yeah.
Will you do the Sexy Mask show when that ends?
Yeah, we'll do Sexy Beasts. We will certainly do Sexy Beasts.
Nice.
And F-Boy Island and all this summer, just like
show. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Calling it F-Boy Island is sheer cowardice.
Yeah, that is
It's
lame.
HBO too. Also, like they should just go ham and call it Fuckboy Island.
As for me,
Yeah.
I have my newsletter, a little perspective.substack.com. I recently published a piece about Disco Elysium, a video game I like very much. So you can go check that out there. I have also been streaming Disco Elysium on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/thisisanodname. So you can check that out. And that's it. That's all I do.
Cool. Yeah, I got videos coming out. Actually finished the Thor Ragnarok videos. They'll probably be out pretty soon. Then who knows? Maybe some more stuff, Loki stuff after that. But after the 3rd episode, I don't have any new thoughts. But we'll see in a couple of days, maybe after episode 4. I don't know. I think my Loki theory from a couple weeks ago is my one video. I think that holds up so far. And I'm going to ride that one all the way into the sunset. And I'll probably be proven wrong in episode 6.
The important thing is if it turns out not to be true, that you throw a fit and hate the whole show for it.
Absolutely. I mean, that'll be video in itself. It's just like, this show sucks because it's not what I wanted. That's how that's how the cycle of YouTube kind of perpetuates itself.
Mm-hmm. That's that sweet, sweet hashtag content.
Damn right. Cool. So put out the poll. Until next week, I am at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
And I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye. We love you.